about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. We always go over, brother, and that's the bottom line. Dig it? So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
As the Federation limped into 1996, their pay-per-view business was at its lowest point in history. Steadily declining interest in the product in the days post-peak Hulkamania had those within the company wondering if they would ever reach the halcyon days once again. The new generation of the WWF looked to be faltering, and the company was in need of a showcase spectacle that would inject some life into a stagnant product. With a roster severely lacking in depth, there were only two men capable of delivering on what was required for the main event. The visionary behind the Royal Rumble, Pat Patterson, wanted to construct a match that would go beyond anything witnessed at WrestleMania to date. Bret Hart would look to defend his WWF title against Shawn Michaels in an Iron Man match. Now, whilst the Iron Man concept was not new, to headline the biggest card of the year with a match destined to go 1 hour and beyond, it was vital that both competitors had the stamina and ability to pull off the performance at a high level. Many consider the Royal Rumble to be Patterson's finest creative work, but if the man were alive today, he would likely say that the main event of WrestleMania 12 was his magnum opus. Elsewhere on the card, two heavyweights collided as Big Daddy Cool Diesel squared off against The Undertaker in what could be considered a battle for supremacy in the land of the Giants. WrestleMania 12 also saw the Mania debut of Stone Cold Steve Austin, who went one-on-one with the Puerto Rican sensation Savio Vega. Arguably one of the more intriguing matches on the card saw another Mania debut, this time for Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who would be welcoming a former returning WWF champion in the Ultimate Warrior. Sadly, this would prove to be another chapter in the failed story of Warrior's redemption. In a most peculiar outing, WrestleMania debutants Goldust would take on acting WWF President Rowdy Roddy Piper in a Hollywood backlot brawl, and the contest would not only take place in a number of locations, but would also include footage of the infamous O.J. Simpson police chase. In spite of a depleted roster, WrestleMania 12 far surpassed the Federation's outing the year prior and promised much of the new breed of athlete the company would be looking to promote going forward. The new generation of the WWF witnessed a boyhood dream become a reality, but it wouldn't be too long before a far more edgy product would rise to the forefront, one with more bite and attitude than the promotion had ever seen before. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 34 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast alongside your hosts Scott and Holly.
Hello.
How you doing, Holly?
I'm good, thank you.
It's a Monday.
Yeah.
Work day behind us.
Yes.
Raring to go.
Always.
For... we're back on the March Through The Manias, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it feel like it's been a long time since we've covered WrestleMania?
It does.
Like, I'm talking a month at least. But also, because WrestleMania 11 was so bad, I don't know if it feels like that was a recurring nightmare. So I was expecting to feel like we'd just done a WrestleMania, but no, not at all.
No.
We've had a few episodes in between, but yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of distance between the WrestleManias, given it's not even the length of them at the moment yet. It's just because it feels like an important event. I don't want to be cut. Not that we do on any of the episodes. I try not to cut corners.
Okay.
Like where you can go, I could look that up, but I won't bother because I don't need to because it's not a key event. With it being WrestleMania, I feel like I have to go into the nitty gritty wherever I possibly can.
That's a good job you do.
Well, I feel like that's pretty much it. You bring the fans to the table.
No,
not the only ones. And I said not the only ones. You're fine. I bring a little bit more of the, I don't want to say the intellectual end of things because that sounds like a dig as well, but the research side, I bet you can, the research side of things. Twice early doors you've been got with bullets there. Jesus. How does it feel? It's because I didn't see you in the office today, so I feel like I need to offload, so to speak.
Great, brilliant, this is going to be fun.
But before we get into the episode, has anything in the world of professional wrestling caught your eye? And if so, what was it? No, not again. We're doing that again.
I'm joking. We watched, we didn't watch it together.
No.
Money in the Bank.
Yes.
That was okay.
Okay.
It was okay.
Right. Do you want to elaborate?
The last match was tres boring for me.
And that had your boy in it.
I know.
It's almost like his matches aren't great.
It's not just him. Let's be clear. I'm bored of this bloodline versus other people story. I was bored of it when Roman was around. Now he's not, and they're still doing it. I don't care. I don't care.
Are you saying that you're done with the bloodline in general, or are you wanting specifically that new bloodline against the old bloodline?
I'd happily have that.
Yeah.
Because then it's done.
Yeah.
When Roman was around, I was bored of him. Now he's not around. Just hurry up and bring him back.
I think what will be interesting there is, because obviously you can hear the crowds chanting, "We want Roman."
Of course.
They want him back. I think what will be an interesting twist is, let's say they're sticking with wanting to do a Roman Reigns Rock match at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, when I think about that match, I think The Rock's face, Roman Reigns is heel. I don't think that's going to be the way that it needs to go now.
Yeah.
I think keep The Rock as the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And have Roman Reigns be the face. And I think the way they would do it, or the way that they could do it, if I was doing it, this is how I would do it, is what I'm saying. I would have The Rock be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes on the new bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So really Solo's actually reporting into him. He's just the man on the spot, doing what's needed. The Rock's the one that brought in these loose cannons like your Tangaloa, your Tamatonga, and your Jacob Fatu. It was his decision to get rid of the wise man, Paul Heyman. All this kind of stuff. And then I think what they're going to build to will be like a War Games match at Survivor Series between the old and the new bloodline. Yeah. And I think The Rock will have some involvement in making sure that the old bloodline lose. So up until that point, you won't even know he's got anything to do with the new version of the bloodline.
Okay.
And then I think that will then from there go to Reigns against Rock, and we'll see what happens from there. I thought the show was decent, to be fair.
Yeah.
The main event was the match I was probably least enthused about.
Take that out, and for me it would have ranked higher, because everything else I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, I will say, and it turned into a good match, but the start of the women's match was fucking awful. Like, genuinely really, really bad. It was, here's a botch, there's a botch.
Okay.
We're a bunch of botches. And I was concerned, because I was like, this is the start of the match, and they tend to build to the higher impact move. And somehow, the higher the impact of the move, the better they got.
Yeah.
So I thought, you see the sunset flip on, what's her name, Valkyria. Mm-hmm. Good. You see Chelsea Green get pushed off the ladder with a brilliant table fall. She couldn't have hit that any better if she wanted. And then you've got Io Sky, kill a bitch.
Oh, God.
Yeah. To the point where it's like, I don't know what you're trying to hit, but I don't think you're rotating her enough for this. And she hit the ladder, bounced up. It looked great. As far as I'm aware, she's fine. But the start of the match, everything was slightly off kilter. Like they're missing landing on ladders. They're missing using ladders as weapons. And I thought, oh no, we're going back. We're going back to the era where you're like, I'm going to the toilet. Do you want a drink on my way back?
Yeah.
The men's match was good.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental title match is what it is. I don't think anyone thought Braun was going to beat Sammy. No. What else is there? Oh, John Cena.
I know.
Yeah.
We all knew it was coming, surely.
Thoughts on it, though?
I mean, it will be a bit sad. But also, I definitely feel like it's time he hung up his jorts. Right, okay. I know I did the right thing. I know, because I can tell by your eyes. But why is he coming out wearing knee pads when he's not wrestling?
We might have just got done from a vicious pegging backstage. We don't know.
I like John Cena, right? We know this.
No.
But I don't. The jorts, ick. But it's all I could look at was these. Like, you're coming out to do a retirement speech.
Yep.
Wear your suit.
Well, he called it his uniform in the post match press. So I actually watched the post match press conference when he came out, and they asked him about his gear, and they said, so what happens after you retire? He said, you'll never see me wear that stuff again. Wow. He said, when I am done, he said, I'm not saying I won't be around the company and do company things. He said, well, I'm not going to be special guest refereeing. I'm not going to be interfering. I'm not going to be having matches. He said, when I am done, I mean I am done.
Okay.
Which is like fair enough, because he even said not to speak out of turn. He said, but a lot of retirements in wrestling mean nothing.
Yeah.
Or it's an opportunity for someone to get a title match, is what he said. And he's right. I mean, look at Ric Flair. Perfect ending with him and Shawn Michaels. He carried on wrestling. Terry Funk, obviously prior to him passing away, had genuinely, I think, about 7 retirements in that period. It's just something that it's hard to give up. I think that's the key theme here. And that's why I'm concerned about a lot of these people that don't know when to stop. John Cena seems to have the rights of it. He knows that his time is up. Yeah. His time is not now. Oh. But I guess that leads me on to a point I was going to ask you about that. Because next year is going to be his last go-round. They're going to be doing shows in England. I'm assuming he's going to be wanting to be on one of those cards around London. Yeah. Did you want to go see his farewell tour in London? Of course. Yeah? Okay, we'll have a look at that then. There was one segment as well that I wanted to get you to do going forward, and I didn't mention it to you. No, it's fine. I think it'll be something that you'll thrive upon. And it'll be interesting to see a tally of these as we go through the shows to see who scores the most in this category. I want you to give me, at the end of each episode, your outfit of the night.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah, I thought you'd quite
I can do that. That's fine.
And you can use whatever reason you like.
Okay.
And it'll be interesting, like I said, to look back on, see who's got the most. Ooh. I will say, we might want to, at some point, think about it, doing it retrospectively.
Going back and...
Because Randy Savage has missed a lot of opportunities, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he would be reigning champ if we're going backwards, surely.
With Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh.
Exactly. Ooh. Exactly. And you can only pick the one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I
mean, the alternative is, I think you go with one, because otherwise it's going to get a bit muddy. Because you could do a top 3, and you could give 3 points for the winner, 2 and then 1. Exactly. Yeah. I thought that might be the case. But I thought that would be something to introduce. So what I'm saying to you is, if I forget, which there's a good chance I will come the end of the show, remind me and say, hey, isn't it time for Holly's segment? This is...
Okay, I can do that.
Is there anything else that caught your eye? Apologies. In wrestling. You mentioned a certain man that we believe in.
He's cropping up everywhere.
Isn't he?
Cheeky little end of a clip of the most recent NXT Heatwave.
Yeah.
New champ. And then randomly, whose face do we see?
Oh, so you saw how that match finished as well?
Yes, I did.
Interesting.
Do you not think that was very, very similar to the match that Shawn Michaels himself was in with, was it Cena and Orton? From, oh, come on, Holly. When was it from? I want to say...
Cena and Orton and Michaels?
Yeah, I'm sure they were all in a match together. Someone knocked some... I'm sure it was Michaels gave Cena like a sweet chin music.
And then he fell on him.
And then he retained the...
Yes.
Is this not...
Yeah, I think so.
Very similar ending.
But, I mean, to be fair, a lot of matches...
obviously Michaels is obviously... working down.
Well, a lot of matches finish in a certain way.
I know,
way,
but
so
just to me, I thought, okay.
I don't mind it. The one thing
it's a homage.
The one thing I'm interested in about that in general is the fact that they've obviously Ethan Page is now the new champion. Fine. But now you've teased Joe Hendry coming in. So obviously, if he's coming in, he can't go right for the title because surely he's not going to just...
Yeah, that would be a bit...
dethrone Ethan Page. Or I don't know how they're planning on working. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but they've got me... They're dangling the carrot.
Speaking of dangling a carrot, did you see the interaction between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus backstage?
Yeah.
Was that like a kind of... I don't know, there felt like there should have been a divider in the middle and a
young and a... Yeah.
A before and after shot.
For sure.
It's a shame that Tiffy cocked up her lines a little bit during that segment, which I think...
I mean, I say this, I couldn't fucking do it, but yes.
I think she was a little bit...
awestruck?
Yeah. Not to put words into her mouth.
It's not the only thing you'd like to put in her mouth, but okay.
Well, if she's ill, I'd like to give her medicine, for sure. Yeah. You shut up. You're the one that just insinuated something terrible. For goodness sake, I've never made such a claim. But that's pretty much everything that caught my eye. Except, I just want to say Jacob Fatu, beast. When he got hit with the DDT from Orton and jumped up, I was aroused.
Yeah, I knew you'd be happy.
I was at full wrestle arousal when that happened.
Okay.
Very pleasing. And Orton, for his part, sold it well.
Yes.
But you're right, the main event was a bit too meh for me.
Yeah.
So I guess that puts us back to the main course.
Yep, sorry, I'm glugging away.
I can hear that. She is drinking, by the way, just to be perfectly clear. We're back on the March Through the Mania series. We are back at WrestleMania 12. And the date for that event was the 31st of March 1996. The venue was the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim in Anaheim, California. Attendance on the night was 18,853 with a buy rate of 290,000. Before we get into the match, or the match card I should say, and the show itself, we've gone... like when you're looking at a show in general, you like to have peaks and troughs.
I love a peak and a trough.
You do. WrestleMania 10 had a lot of peaks for you.
It did. It really did.
WrestleMania 11, did it have one?
No.
So let's hope, for the love of God, I know we've both seen the show, but I don't know your reaction, you don't know mine. I could probably guess some of your reactions.
Okay. Intrigued, yeah.
But let's see if this show hopefully
see.
has some positives for you. So the show opening video package. The pay-per-view starts with black and white footage of Shawn Michaels staring out of a window as the voiceover talks about Michaels' passion of becoming the WWF champion. The footage transitions to Bret Hart, who we hear is continually striving for excellence to be etched in the annals of time. Michael spits in the face of adversity. Bret, a triumph of tenacity. Direct quote that. And a ring general who stands in defiance of defeat. They love a bit of alliteration here, don't they? Getting a bit wanky for me. Gonna start writing love poems soon. It's painfully clear from the promotion going into this match that all of the WWF's proverbial eggs are in this one match's basket.
Yes.
And, my God. Like, just thinking, the show itself is what? 2 hours and 40 minutes?
2 hours 47 to be precise.
2 hours 47?
Yeah.
An hour and 20, if not a bit more.
Oh, well, I didn't know this, so let's get to that when we get to that.
Okay.
Because I got a bone to pick with that.
Okay. I don't book this. I can tell you who did book this.
Yeah, but I'll
if
still
you
be annoyed at you because you're
Okay.
the only one here.
That's fine. You can be annoyed at me. You can spank me later. It's. Oh no, I've already said that bit. The black and white footage continues, and we see both men shake hands, as well as having their arms raised with the victories from earlier in their careers. Finally, the package draws to a conclusion, with both men wincing in agony as the voiceover confirms that one man will be stripped of their dream. Not their pants. Although it nearly does happen, actually, at one point in the match. From here, we get the very cheerful WWF music used at the time as a cartoon. No, that's been worded really badly.
Come
Scott.
on, what have you said?
So, no, it's fine. It's just worded like a bag of dicks. From here, we get the very cheerful WWF music used at the time as a cartoon WWF helicopter takes off from a WWF emblazoned platform, and the spotlight surrounding this blind the lens, only to reveal the WrestleMania 12 logo before a backdrop of Los Angeles at night.
No punctuation in there at all.
No, that was a full-on...
Big ass breath to
It
get
was,
that done.
yeah, and I used to be asthmatic as a kid, so that really tested my limits there, to be honest. Better at holding my breath now, is all I'll say. Swimming. Multiple animated helicopters pass, and we are now taken live to the arena. So, I've talked about how Vince
I
introduces
like that you
a
correct
pay-per-view.
yourself here.
I'll be honest, I do
Let's
a lot
be
of
clear.
talking.
You've talked about this.
I do a lot of talking.
Okay.
on this. How is Vince's shouty voice no louder than his talking voice, but just has an entirely different complexion?
Mm-hmm.
It's gravelly, yet not particularly louder than his normal talking voice. And it's the same as when he does the 1, 2, he's gone. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Brilliant, I can tick that off my list.
Okay, so...
I've put Scott's definitely going to do a Vince impression here.
Well, wasn't even the one I was going to do.
It's done, so...
Welcome, everyone, to Anaheim, California! It's basically how he does it. It's like the start of a death metal song.
Wow. Yes, okay.
But that is just, to me, how he does every pay-per-view. And back in the day, I was like, oh, this is great. Now I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to get the excitement. You've already got their money. You're not advertising it to people that don't have access to it. You've already done the free part of the show beforehand. Do it then. And maybe don't do it then, actually. Smacking the microphone, that's how intense I find a Vince McMahon impression. I'm ready to do the walk now. I'll get up and march around the room. As Vince continues his ludicrous shouting on comms, welcoming us to WrestleMania, we see a firework display above the ring, which is only mildly depressing. Actually, put a pin in this. Let's go back a second. You've ticked it off. Have you got like a Scott bingo card that you're playing?
Well, I imagine Scott will definitely do an impersonation of Vince's effective screeching into the microphone.
Effective screeching, yeah, we'll take that. Okay, I was just making sure you didn't have a full-on
Oh no, that's not bingo, but...
So if you shout Full House
I could start doing that, actually. That'd be quite funny.
Well, funny we should talk about bingo, because that may be a theme in the... No,
oh, okay.
I'm not doing another Holly impression.
Oh, thank God.
I can't remember what episode that was on, but that was a good time. Vince introduces Jerry the King Lawler, who will be joining him on commentary, and of course in full kit wanker mode, and immediately gets the word notwithstanding into his opening. So if anybody is playing Vince verbal bingo, You can mark that one off nice and early.
Very good.
Oh, there's a few of them, so notwithstanding, again, you will now hear it all the time with
Yes.
choice of phrases.
I imagine there's another one in there, but that's all I'll know.
For sure, I've got a few of them lined up. As soon as he says it, I tick it off. Or sorry, as soon as I notice him saying it, I tick it off. Holly is incredibly pissed off as 3 matches on the show are immediately rattled off to build up hype by the chairman, and I imagine she's already wandered off to grab a drink and a Freddo bar.
I did actually. I didn't have any Freddos, but I did get a beverage.
I bet you went, fuck's sake.
Yes,
Got up and just walked off.
I know it's not about me, and none of this is about me whatsoever, but please...
This show's about you.
Just give me the element of surprise.
In some contexts, not in others.
Oh, yeah, no. In this format.
Yes.
Yes, please.
As Vince, as long as you shout surprise, it's fine. You told me that before.
Mm-hmm.
As Vince, not a lie though. As Vince continues to list matches that are scheduled for later in the evening, he's interrupted. It's time! It's time! It's Vader! Time! Ooh. Straight into an opening match.
Yeah.
Vader's music.
Oh, you're a big fan.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Because I remember as a kid, or being, I was a kid at the time.
Yeah.
Being genuinely petrified of this guy.
Yeah, he's quite imposing, isn't he?
He is, and he's also a clumsy motherfucker as well.
Is this the guy that was also sent to Fat Camp?
Yes, it was
okay.
the guy that was... And also with his fat buddy, who's appearing across the ring in this match from him.
Yes.
So, probably think of a better and more flattering phrase than his fat buddy. His paunchy pal, we'll call him.
Oh, okay.
But the opening match of the night, Vader, Owen Hart and the British Bulldog with Jim Cornette, effectively Camp Cornette as a group, going up against Yokozuna, Ahmed Johnson and Jake the Snake Roberts. You've shaken your head immediately.
Yeah.
I need to know everything that just went through your head.
Okay. So, when this first started, obviously Vader, I remember him vaguely, but not really much, I'll be honest.
Okay.
But then, obviously, Bulldog, Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Lovely, great. I was Trez happy. Then we bring out the other team.
Yeah.
Oh, Yokozuna, man. Honestly. I'm over it.
It's like a bag of revels, I'm going to say, that team.
Yeah, so you've got the coffee one. I don't like them, sorry. I know, this is just for me personally. I don't like them, the flavour of them. That's not what I'm intentionally going for.
Okay, no, carry on.
Next we're going to bring out the orange one, which I don't like.
Right.
Jake the Snake. Right.
No, he's the raisin.
He was a legend in my eyes up until this.
Yeah,
Why is he back?
Money.
Okay. Because he looks aged.
Yes, he's also, I think at this point in time, he's a born-again Christian.
Okay.
And he's trying to right the wrongs of his alcohol and drug dependency use.
Okay.
Although this isn't when it gets solved. And in fact, this is a good story. This doesn't tie in to this particular show, and we'll cover it in more detail when we get to it. But it's worth mentioning now as we're talking about this version of Jake the Snake Roberts. In King of the Ring from that year, one of the tournament matches, I think it's a semi-final, might be the final, was Jake the Snake Roberts against Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Austin, after he won the match, and Jake Roberts is being carried backstage, is talking to Michael Hayes in the kind of where they're being crowned.
Yeah.
And he comes out with you want to talk about your Psalms and thumping your Bible, John 3:16 this, or Austin 3:16 said, I just kicked your ass, or whooped your ass. And that is how the 3:16 Austin chant, based off a promo he did about Jake Roberts. And this was as we start to see Stone Cold come into a life of his own. But yeah, I agree with you. I love Jake Roberts.
Yes.
This era I would like to entirely forget about.
Okay, cool.
In the WWF. But I was saying, much like you, to me, that team coming out was a bag of revels. Yeah. None of them really went with each other, other than the fact that they're all in revels, covered in chocolate, and in this case, they're all wrestlers. That's the only thing they've got tying them together.
I just couldn't work it out. And for me, because the other team had... I'm a big Bulldog fan. Yeah. Like, big Bulldog fan. So I was like... really, brilliant. I'm so confused, and I don't know the other guy either, so I also can't list you any other rebels because I don't eat them. But
I can tell you what I think each rebel is. So for me, Jake Roberts is either the raisin or the caramel. Raisin because he's just you don't really want that. I like
a chocolate raisin.
I do, but I don't want it in a bag of. I don't want it to be seen as like a sweet treat, right? If you've got a bag of chocolate raisins by themselves, fine, but not when you're mixing it in with other chocolates. For some reason, you've lost me. And the caramel You go to bite in it and go, oh yeah, this will be good. Oh no, now I've got to sit here sucking on it for ages, so to speak. Why dribbling? So then for me, Ahmed Johnson could be either one of two. He's either orange or coffee.
Okay.
He polarises.
Okay.
You
don't like coffee chocolate either?
No, I like coffee chocolate.
Oh, okay.
But I understand how other people don't.
Yeah,
and the same with orange. So he could be either one of them for me.
Okay.
Yokozuna is, the Malteser-like one.
Sure.
Except he's one where there are two stuck together. Because he's fucking massive, but he's also lighter than you think he's going to be in terms of how he moves around the ring. So that's...
Yeah, fair. That's a good explanation.
As the bag of revels, that's what that team's offering.
Cool, okay.
Holly, did you know that Vader was a former NFL player?
No.
In the 1978 NFL draft, White, so his real name's Leon White, should probably caveat that for you, was drafted as a centre by the Los Angeles Rams with the 24th pick in the 3rd round, so his 80th overall. White's second season saw the Rams go to the Super Bowl and earned White an NFC Championship ring.
Oh, okay.
So he's decorated as well as a NFL footballer. Now the Vader music. Look and his character I thought was genuinely fantastic. What a monster, and a great big man worker as well. He was a bit rough around the edges in terms of being clumsy, snug, not necessarily, dangerous. He did break someone's back, to be fair. But in terms of his execution, it wasn't clean. It had a rough edge to it. Mm-hmm. So watching it, you're like, ooh, that's good. Obviously, being opposed to him, you're like, stop fucking hitting me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he got in trouble with, I think I told you before, I want to say it was a match with Stan Hansen, and Stan Hansen popped him hard in return, because Stan Hansen can't see for shit, leathered him hard and his eye popped out. So, yeah, pretty grim.
Oh.
Pretty grim. So you couldn't see that his eye popped out, if that makes sense. From the footage I've seen, it's just the whole area swelled up, but that's because it was covering for the fact that the ball was protruding, shall we say. Okay, so unfortunately he was rough to work with, and due to getting on the wrong side of Shawn Michaels, he never amounted to anything in the Federation, which is a real shame, as he could have been something special. I think it was SummerSlam this year. When I say this year, as in 1996, the year of this Mania, it was supposed to be Vader and Shawn Michaels for the title. And Shawn Michaels was like, I'm not fucking working with him. And if Shawn Michaels in that era doesn't want to work with someone, you're not doing anything. So Jim Cornette has very strong feelings about Shawn Michaels in general, specifically around this era. Alongside the Mastodon, we have Owen Hart and the British Bulldog, who are part of Camp Cornette. And we're shown how the relationship between Yokozuna and Corny broke down, because we'll remember that Cornette was one of his two managers, or his delegate, associate, whatever they want to call him. On the 5th of February edition of Raw, Cornette is seen yelling at Yoko, who then starts attacking his former manager accordingly. Now this is something different for us, Holly. Yokozuna being cheered as he makes his way to the ring, and whilst his hair and beard are a marked improvement, in my opinion, his waistline continues to expand like a horse fanny.
Okay.
What do you think of this new Yokozuna look? As opposed, so he's got the long ponytail. He's got stubble rather than the geisha girl sumo style hair. No, that's the only way I can describe it. Because it's not really a man bun, is it? Better look or worse look? You don't care on either. I can tell by your face.
I don't care.
Give me something.
Sure, it's better.
Better. Brilliant. Sure. Thank you. Oh, do you know what? I almost believed you there. That was good. If Yoko's team win this match, he gets 5 minutes alone with Cornette.
Oh, cheeky.
Yeah, well, quite. I think you'd have to catch him, to be fair. If Cornette thought that was on the menu, I'm pretty sure he could outrun Yoko. Holly, have you ever heard of Ahmed Johnson before?
No. And I wasn't allowed to hear about him.
Well, you did ask, actually, to be fair.
Yes,
I didn't go out my way to tell you not to.
No, thank you.
So I'll give you just a couple of highlights from Ahmed Johnson. The man had a great look and aura about him until he opened his mouth or wrestled. He was physically limited to what he could do, but Vince saw big things for the Pearl River native. In fact, he was at one point considered as the likely candidate to defeat Undertaker for the WWF title, which could have made him the first African-American WWF champion at that time. Another story is that it is alleged The Rock got sick of Ahmed's attitude backstage and challenged him to a fight, which was considered as a big knock against him given how popular Rocky was with those in the locker room. Rocky was quite happy to get along with people. Even now you can kind of get the idea. He's like, oh yeah, it's cool, we're cool. Like that kind of stuff. So the fact that he went out of his way to say, let's have a fight, really was a mark against Ahmed Johnson. If you ever want to hear a nonsensical... It's almost like Ultimate Warrior levels of just drivel. Listen to an Ahmed Johnson promo.
Okay.
He doesn't articulate well, so it's just a lot of... What have you just said, mate? So anyone who's seen an Ahmed Johnson promo, they might have actually quite liked that, but it's not good. It's not the Brood on the first episode of SmackDown bad, but it's not good.
Okay.
What did you think of Ahmed Johnson when you first saw him?
Yeah, I thought he definitely has the look.
Yeah, that's the
For
aura
sure.
is what I
yes.
said.
But apart from that, I don't really think too much about him.
You're probably more excited. You're probably more disheartened with Jake Roberts.
Yeah, to be honest, I was more distracted, I think, trying to look and go, it does look like he's aged. And then in my head going, well, obviously, because time moves on, and when was the last WrestleMania I saw him?
So the last WrestleMania we saw him was against Undertaker, when he'd quit.
Mm-hmm. That was a while ago.
WrestleMania 9? No, because that was Giant Gonzalez. Oh, 8.
8?
Yeah,
so
it was
that's
8.
4.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yes.
But look how much he's aged in those 4 years. He has done 20 years worth of aging in 4 years as this man. Drugs.
Well, yeah.
Is what it's come down to there. It's amazing to me, and I'm really glad, not to make it sound like I'm making light of the fact that obviously he had they always say the demons that they're fighting behind the scenes. I mean, everyone does to a point. But it amazes me and pleases me that Jake Roberts is still alive. Because you look at his entire history and you think, how are you still going? And he is, and fair play to him, and the work that he's done, trying to turn his life around. Obviously DDP's helped out with a lot of that, is really commendable, but it still amazes me that he's around today. But not saying that he shouldn't be, what a shame.
I get what you're saying.
It surprises me somewhat. So back to the action, and as soon as Yoko hits the ring, he and Vade, which I meant to put Vader, I didn't try and shorten it, begin trading blows, and this quickly descends into a 6-person brawl. Bulldog and Owen are sent to the floor, leaving Vader, who misses with a clothesline attempt before being dropped by one from the former WWF champion. A second clothesline from Yoko sends Vader over the top and to the floor. One would assume that he would get a moment of respite. That is, of course, until Ahmed Johnson takes flight with a plancha, landing on the big man. Quite impressive, that.
Yeah, it was.
Looks ropey as hell, but, he hit it. As Ahmed looks to unload with rights, Owen and Bulldog start throwing hands of their own until Jake beats them away. Back in the ring, and the two big boys are back at it. Vader looks to be getting the better of the exchange until Yoko starts firing back and backs Vader into the corner. The Mastodon reverses the position and hits some punishing forearm blows as Owen tags himself in. I don't know if you've noticed that with Vader's punches. He seems to throw with like a clubbing forearm. It's not really a clean punch. He kind of cuffs them around the back of the ear. And I reckon that hurts way more than the pulled wrestling punches.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's harder to gauge. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Well, you want to... Well, Vader's dead, so I can't go, Vader, big man, would you mind cuff me round the ears, knock me fucking shit loopy? Or are you saying you want to hit me round the ears?
Well, I don't want to.
But
if it's for the good of knowing.
If it's for the good of the podcast, so you have to do a pulled wrestling punch.
Okay.
And then cuff me round the ear.
And see, you can compare the two?
And I will, yes. And where there is a blame, there is a claim, because this is a place of work for us. So just putting that out there. We don't have an HR team. Where are we here? The Mastodon reverses the position and hits some punishing forearm blows. Yep. With Yoko's attention on Vader, he doesn't see Owen's dropkick from behind coming, but it barely moves the former champion. Owen hits the ropes, and although he avoids the clothesline, he does run right into a back elbow. Corner whip from Yoko, but Bulldog manages to pull Owen out of the way of a charge from the apron, allowing the heels to regain some control. Owen and Bulldog start throwing hands on Yoko, bring the sumo to the canvas before tagging Vader back into the fray. Okay, bringing the sumo to the canvas. Vader takes a swing at Ahmed, which invites him into the ring, as that pesky individual, as Vince calls him, Owen, punishes Yoko over the middle rope. Punishes. Hello. Vader's corner attacks always look terrifyingly painful, and after a barrage of these strikes, Yoko collapses to the canvas. Again, that's quite impressive, because Yoko's a big dude. Yoko is dragged back to his feet, but Vader misses with a wild strike, and the Zunes hits a Uranagi slam that we were informed shook the arena.
Okay.
Ahmed gets the tag, and he floors both Bulldog and Owen in turn. Vader debates having a fight, but just exits to the apron instead. Doesn't fancy it. He's like, no, I've done my bit.
So I'm done now.
I'm not paid by the hour, or paid by the punch. We now get to hear Vince's infatuation with the Pearl River native as he continues to call him a new sensation, which was a Slammy award that Ahmed won before Mania. He catches Bulldog and connects with a lovely power slam, but gets clotheslined to the back of the head by Vader. A whip sees the Mastodon duck too early and Ahmed attempts a sunset flip. You've shaken your head there, not a good one then.
No.
This gets blocked, but the flying whoopsie from Vader finds no water in the pool. Ahmed hits the ropes and drops Vader with the flying clothesline. As the new sensation backs Vader into this corner, Bulldog hits him from behind as he is still the legal man, and Vince decries, "Look at this threesome!"
Look at my second note.
Yeah. Look
Of
at
course,
this
that's
threesome.
what I heard.
Well, to be fair, not a normal thing to shout out. Body slam to the Bulldog, and Johnson looks to hit a Pearl River plunge, but Owen Hart hits a missile dropkick as Cornette has the ref distracted and tags himself in moments later. Elbow drop from Owen connects. As the Rocket offloads with right hands, we hear another Vince bingo word with unquestionably, so chalk that one off too for those playing at home. Owen connects with an enziguri to the back rather than the head, and he tags in the Mastodon. Vader hits a brutal splash, but no cover is made. Ahmed is whipped into the ropes, and Vader just mauls him to the canvas. Owen tagged back in, and he connects with not one but two eye rakes.
Boo.
Clothesline staggers Ahmed, but on the second attempt, Owen gets put down by one of Johnson's that missed by about 2 feet.
Oh, I did see that.
He was well over his
Okay.
head, but Owen still went down.
Of course he did.
Jake finally gets the tag and fires off a series of jabs to Owen before putting him down with a clothesline and landing a right hand on the Bulldog. Mr. Fuji is now standing in the corner of Yokozuna once more, and he's waving the US flag. Must have just finished his WrestleMania 5K with Lord Owl and was running late. Short arm clothesline lands on Owen, and we know what that sets up as the crowd are hungry for a DDT.
Of course.
The King of Hearts holds on, however, and it connect hit, but it's turned a bit Scottish part way through that, and it doesn't hit. Corner whip sees Owen get the knee up in the corner, it would do if it was in the corner, sending Jake staggering into the heels corner. A lot of corners. 4 of them. Bulldog in now. I think I'm having some sort of episode, I'll be honest.
Did you take a breather?
No. Honestly, if I can't get through this match, we're
fucked
on the main event. Absolutely sausaged. Bulldog in now, and he applies a front face lock to the snake, which sounds stupid. USA chants now as Jake looks to escape but staggers back into heel territory. Vader the legal man, and he clubs away on Jake before connecting with a giant splash in the corner and levelling the snake with a clothesline. Once again, no cover, and Owen is tagged back in. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's something that I noticed, and I feel like it was a theme throughout the show. People rarely made covers until it was like the end of the match.
Yep.
Even in the Iron Man match we get to later, nary a cover is seen until about 40 minutes in.
Spoiler alert. But yes, I'm aware.
You look emotional about this.
Fucking livid.
Okay, can't wait to dissect that. But it seemed to be a theme throughout the whole night.
No, I agree. It's like perfect time to do it. Oh, let's just not.
Yeah.
Let's not bother.
From the top rope, Owen hits an elbow drop following on from a Vader body slam, which only gets a 2 count. There's a pin. A seated stretch by Owen, which sees him gently rest his pecker on the back of Robert's neck. Did you see that? Well, of course you did. You watched it. So Jake sat down. Owen had his leg over his arm, was pulling his arms, and basically was bollocking his neck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do a lot of gesticulating there for you. You're welcome.
It's okay.
Bulldog reaches and makes the tag, and he delivers the running power slam, but no, Jake manages to kick out of Davy's finish. Vader back in and hits a running splash, but again Jake manages to kick out. Incredible work by the old man.
This is making up for all the pins that didn't happen here.
Quite. Bulldog returns, but his running leg drop misses and both men are down. I love how that can keep a man down for a bit, just sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Vader the legal man, and Jake manages to fall backwards and tag in Yoko, who unloads with right hands on the Mastodon. Slowly but surely, the onslaught sees Vader wilt in the corner before a running corner splash connects. Owen and Bulldog look to make the save, but are unceremoniously knocked down before we get a Mania-sized double noggin knocker.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen one in a while.
We haven't,
I do like it.
Well, this match had to give you something.
It did.
Big Samoan drop lands on the Bulldog, but Yoko instead makes the tag as Jake set up for a DDT on Owen. Bulldog breaks it up, but Ahmed sends him to the floor, having prematurely tried to do the same moments before, missing his cue. Owen sets up for a DDT, but Jake slips out the back door and connects with the DDT before making the cover. No one hits it like Jake.
No.
It always looks so much more devastating when he hits it. The ref is distracted with the brawling on the outside, and Corny takes his opportunity to slide in with tennis racket in hand. Jake sees it coming though and hits a shot to the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Jake takes an age to hit a DDT on Cornette, and this allows Vader time to re-enter the ring and mow him down like a wall. Vader bomb in the corner, and Camp Cornette exit as the victors with the 1, the 2, the 3.
Yes.
Holly,
Yes.
what do you think?
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay. I don't know. It was a good start off.
Okay, so it's gone up from being okay to it was a good start off.
It was a good
now.
start off. Yeah.
Okay.
Start there. Fine.
So you weren't angry at this point?
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
I remained calm.
What were the positives to take out of this match?
That the team I wanted to win did.
Okay.
That's something.
You went against Jake.
Yes, I did.
Is it because Bulldog's English?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Well, no, it's not because he's English. I just like him.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a big fan.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was alright. Here nor there, but more here than there, I guess, if I had to.
Okay.
I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Why are you smiling?
2.5 stars from Big Dave.
Oh gosh.
I think it was absolutely fine, so I'll go 2.5 stars if that's the barometer for... That's a bang average... Well, not bang average match, but it's a fine
middle,
match.
isn't it? Yeah.
2.5,
Okay.
so I'll go with Dave on that one.
Okay.
Don't go into a match just yet. Don't worry, we've got some things to discuss in this next bit. We're now shown a promo piece on Roddy Piper, revering the man as a legend and showing some highlight moments. For example, cracking Jimmy Snuka with a coconut and firing an extinguisher in the face of Morton Downey Jr. Holly's having flashbacks. As acting WWF president, Hot Rod has continued his ways, and we see him with an airplane spin on Vince McMahon on Raw. We're informed that Goldust has been attracted to a man of such power, and he even wrote a poem about the Hot Rod. We see a number of homoerotic scenes, including Goldust seductively playing a bagpipe. Get it, Holly? It looks like a skinny dick.
Yeah, I understood.
Hot Rod, when was the last time you played a bagpipe to seduce a man? Is that ever in the go-to? Like, I'll tell you what this guy like.
No, it's not in my wheelhouse.
Hamish, come over here. You'll like this.
Hamish.
Because that's what they sound like. Hot Rod has apparently turned the other cheek, given his position, which sounds more sexy than they intended, but in doing so, Goldust slaps him across the face for refusing to engage, which results in Hot Rod landing a big right hand. If Goldust wants a fight, Hot Rod will give it to him, and he declares he will make a man out of him in the process.
I bet he will.
No jelly needed here.
No, thank you.
On comms, Vince talks about the upcoming backlot brawl, and King says that Goldust will ensure Piper never has an Oscar, as his acting career will be through. Yes, that is why he'll never get an Oscar, because of Goldust. That is the reason. Marlena is seen sat backstage smoking a cigar next to a table of champagne, and I thought they were going to ask her a question, but wisely they decide against doing so.
This is Terry Runnels,
Yes,
right?
it is Terry Runnels.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. But she was married to Goldust at this time, right?
If not married, they were
Whatever his name
together.
is, yeah.
But yeah, they were together.
Okay. Very
They met in
confusing.
WCW. She was a makeup artist, I think,
Okay.
for the company at the time. It's just mad. Goldust. Do you know who was originally scheduled for this match
No.
against Goldust? Razor Ramon.
Stop it. Oh, I'd have been so sad.
And Razor Ramon said, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I don't think that's what my character would do. Well, have a match? Think he would. Think that's what he's fucking paid for. Razor, Chico.
Yeah, but are we really classing this as a match?
Okay, I'm going to say something controversial.
Oh, don't do it.
As a kid, when I first saw it,
Uh-huh.
minus all the flagrant homoeroticism,
Uh-huh.
I like the idea of the brawl
Because
going
there's two
anywhere.
segments, isn't there, I suppose?
There
You've got
is.
this next segment, which
Yep.
is we're just going to throw shite at each other and get a bit messy. And then there's the second one, which we'll come to later. But
Yes.
okay, so
The
the
first
first
part
bit,
I
I
liked.
could understand being younger and being like,
Oh,
my
second
God,
part I didn't care
look
about.
at what they're doing. But now, no.
Yeah, in my head, that's a good point to make. I distinguish the two as being very
Yes.
separate. The first part I really like. The second part I was very confused
Boggling.
by. Yeah,
Yeah.
for many reasons.
Yep.
For many
But
reasons.
we'll get there.
But yeah, let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's
No.
do it in the order in which God and Vince McMahon intended. First part, Roddy Piper versus Goldust in a Hollywood backlot brawl, part 1.
Yes.
And oftentimes they say that the sequel is worse than the original. They'd be right here too. But I've got a bit of background for you on this one.
Hit me with it.
And then I'll tell you the story. This one's from the Sportster. So I'll always try and reference wherever I get the articles from. And if you could maybe wait till the third sentence before you yawn this time, that would be excellent for me. The legendary Roddy Piper spent the latter part of his career telling everyone he was part of WrestleMania before there was a number. But he's also part of so many firsts throughout the history of the showcase of the Immortals. The 12th annual show of shows was no different. Hot Rod, never one to shy away from controversy, steered right into it when he took on Goldust in a Hollywood backlot brawl. Between Broken Matt Hardy and the Corona outbreak, cinematic matches became a little more of the norm for a while. Even WCW had some, not to nearly the same success rate, but still. But this match from WrestleMania 12 was a wild one and one of the classic brawls during the new generation period of the WWE. It's also a match that took on several different forms before landing on Goldust versus Roddy Piper. Perhaps the closest iteration of the entire Goldust-Piper feud and the eventual match was the proposed match between Razor Ramon and Goldust. Instead of a Hollywood backlot brawl, the big fight would have been a Miami street fight. Considering Goldie had been playing mind games with Razor for months and defeating him for the Intercontinental title, it might have been a grand blow-off, pardon the pun, to their programme. Didn't say pardon the pun, but I did that for them. However, all of a sudden, the bad guy started and succeeded to politic his way out of the match. Scott Hall believed that the Razor Ramon character would never be mixed up with an androgynous character like Goldust and tried to get matches with Triple H instead. It wasn't before long that he gave his notice, failed a drug test and missed WrestleMania 12 altogether. So you wondered where he was. That's where he was. Depending on whom you believe, the fork-tongued Vince Russo or the artful dodger Bruce Pritchard, either Russo himself or Vince McMahon had an even crazier idea in store for Hot Rod at WrestleMania. Brace yourself. One of the ideas bandied about was to have Roddy actually take on disgraced football hero O.J. Simpson. Simpson famously was indicted and later found not guilty for the murder of his ex-wife Nicole and friend Ron Goldman, but was found guilty in a civil suit. If that wasn't terrible enough, the original idea may or may not have been an actual match between Simpson and Goldman's father, Fred, and he would have been given a choice of weapons to use against his son's alleged murderer. Once it was decided that the Juice idea was too tawdry and Razor had no interest, Piper and Goldust got together. Before I read the rest of it, talk me through what's going through your brain right now.
Jesus Christ.
It never got beyond the point of being a ridiculous idea. I don't think
Thank
they
God,
ever...
because that's ridiculous. But I guess it links to the video footage they show.
I'm glad you touched upon that, and I'm glad you spotted...
Oh yeah, everyone's seen the... Is it the white Dodger or whatever? It's called Dodge, that's it.
Isn't it a Bronco or
I
something?
don't know if I know,
But,
everyone's seen that footage.
and I mean no disrespect by this, your memory can also be shit.
Wank? Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought something from this era, you might have gone,
I know, I remember
yeah.
that, but...
Because you
I've
can't
seen that a
remember
few times.
Raven if you fucking tripped over the bastard in these other shows.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, oh, it's Raven. Oh, it's, what's his name? Scotty Polo. No, what was it before that? Flamingo? Scotty Flamingo. You're like, that's Raven. Oh, shit. Oh, here's Scotty Polo. Who's that? Still the same fucking guy.
I can't help
It's
it.
Thin Balls Mahoney.
I can't help it.
He's been accused of being like 5 different people. The bizarre one started wearing kilts, doing all he could to get under Roddy's skin, quite literally. Hot Rod had warned he was coming to WrestleMania to make a man out of the androgynous one. The battle was the first cinematic match in WrestleMania and WWE history. It also was a wild contest and spectacle, taking place over the entirety of WrestleMania. Near enough. The wrestlers filmed the backlot part of their brawl several days prior, and it inadvertently damaged some cars, and Piper broke his hand. The Hall of Famer broke his cast open on the day of WrestleMania, so nobody questioned how Piper got patched up in between the brawl. The chase all over LA and the eventual end of the match in the arena. Since the OJ drama gripped the nation, the WWE got Piper a white Bronco to jump into after Goldust in his golden Cadillac. Throughout the evening, shots of the OJ chase were shown, while the commentators acted as if it was Piper trying to run down Goldust, even though the footage seemed familiar. So that's a little bit of background for you. Bit interesting,
yeah, no,
though.
that was actually. That was.
Back to the start of this match. So, without going into actually what happens, you know what happens. When you heard what it was going to be, just the concept of it, what were you expecting? Because I know you say you keep low expectations, but you must have been expecting it to look a certain way or feel a certain way.
I just didn't really understand it, because for me also, if it's a WrestleMania, you've got people in there watching, like, oh, you're not watching anything, they're just going to show it on a screen. And for me, if I'd paid that money, I'd be like, I want to see this. I could have sat at home and watched this, probably closer, I'll be honest, on a bigger, not a bigger screen, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's like when they go backstage at like big events, and I'm like, oh, that's really annoying.
Or the Stadium Stampede we saw for AEW.
Well, I didn't see half of that, so yeah, let's
we're having a lovely time. That's fine.
Oh yeah, we did, but I was like, I can't see where they are, so
I think the two of them were
really
actually quite near us at one point as well.
Were.
Didn't like the Blackpool Combat Club actually come out from underneath where we were sitting as well? Yeah.
Didn't have a Scooby.
I guess if every cloud has a silver lining. You said you'd rather see it in the arena.
Yeah.
I bet you rather wouldn't have seen the part in the arena that was in the arena, and would rather have watched everything on TV.
Well, I'd rather have not seen any of this part, I'll be honest.
Fair. Yep. Back to the start of the match, we see Hot Rod standing in the Hollywood backlot with a baseball bat in hand. This is a great look for Piper, in my opinion. Stubble, leather jacket and jeans. It works.
Yeah, fine.
We see a golden Cadillac screech around the corner and make a beeline for Piper, who beckons him on. As the car approaches, Piper puts the bat down and opens a fire hose on the car, ensuring the entire area is wet. He then... Okay.
Right. Logically,
yes,
this makes no sense. As we see 2 minutes later, when Goldust can't stand up because everything's sopping wet. And I'm sure this is the point. But also, he's not the only one that takes a tumble. Roddy falls over about 10 times. And I'm like... honestly, where's the logic here?
I don't know if it's because the weather, it had rained, so they turned the hose on to make it look like Piper had done that.
Yeah.
Because obviously if the weather's not doing there what it is at the arena, they'll be like, oh.
Of course. So I get it, and if that's the reason, it makes sense. But also it's a bit like, well, that looks shit because he's already fallen over.
Yeah. So he then picks up the bat once more and smashes the driver's side window and cracks the windscreen too before unloading on the door as well. I think it's around here he fucks his hand.
Yep.
Goldust crawls out of the passenger side door whilst Hot Rod smashes the back window and slides over the bonnet to strike the golden one with the bat. Just about. Hot Rod is now... I like the bit that really takes me out of it, and I didn't notice it obviously as a kid, but I notice it now, is when Piper is full on swinging to smash the doors, the windows. He gets to Goldust and goes, ooh, and just gives him a little love prod with it. I don't know, it just takes me out of the moment a bit. Not saying I want to see him swing for the fences on him.
But when you've seen him actually put effort in to do something and then not, it's noticeable.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hot Rod is now choking Goldust with the bat, and we actually get a very good camera angle as it looks as though Piper connects with Goldust's head on the next swing. Piper continues the onslaught with jabs from the weapon and sends Goldust through a catering table that was inexplicably set up outside.
Yeah.
When do they ever do that?
I don't know.
And they wouldn't do it without a cover. Anyway, I digress. Said the guy who's been on fuck all film sets. But I assume. A trash can full of what I imagine to be Vince McMahon's shredded receipts from various hookers is cracked over Goldust's head. From there, he's sent crashing into a dumpster on the other side of the lot. A trash can is launched at the prone Goldust, who also takes a boot to the ribs and hit with a can of fizz. Back into the dumpster goes Goldust, as in not into the dumpster, but he crashed into the dumpster. And Piper is revelling in this as he now hoses Goldust onto the bonnet of the Cadillac. I expected you to laugh at that bit as well.
I don't know what I expected here, but I was like, this is some like cheap porno here, like getting hosed down on the bonnet of a car.
Goldust wishes. I'll tell you what, if I went to one of those, oh, we're sorority girls and we're just washing cars.
Bikini car wash.
And I turned up and Goldust and Piper are fucking doing this. I'd be livid. Especially with the damage to the car. I don't think it was worth it. I really don't. Face first goes Goldust into the bonnet, and Piper hits a weak body slam there moments later before dropping a fist to a now bloodied opponent. I'm pretty sure at this point his hand's already gone, which is why he's struggling with that. A brutal right hand drops Goldust, but the wily son of a plumber hits a devastating low blow before sending Hot Rod face first into the same dumpster. Just about, he kind of fell on the way. Goldust retreats to his Cadillac and wildly reverses, which is where they accidentally cause damage to another car, before running Hot Rod down.
Yeah, sure.
Piper hangs onto the hood. I thought it was quite good though, as far as that goes.
Right.
They're not, professionals in that field. Piper hangs onto the boot as Goldust...
the boot.
The hood.
The boot.
The boot. What?
The boot.
Oh, shut up. Piper hangs onto the hood as Goldust continues to drive until he eventually rolls off when the car stops. Goldust speeds off as Piper, with his broken and bloody hand, gets into a white Bronco to make chase. And that brings part one of this chaos to an end.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to get you to score it as a whole.
Good, because I didn't even write anything down, huh?
Good, because nor did I, baby.
Oh, lovely.
Straight to another match.
Yes.
And this, Holly, WrestleMania debut time for both men. One's more important than the other, no offence, Savio.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, we do.
With the $1 Million Man, so he's already gone beyond the ringmaster gimmick that he came into the WWF with, against the Puerto Rican idol, or whatever, Savio Vega.
Okay.
Tell me what you know of Savio Vega. I've got fuck all on him. I just want to see what you know.
Nada.
Yep. That is a Spanish word. Well done.
Oh, yeah, nothing.
He doesn't spit in the face of those who don't want to be cool, but he did work a lot for Carlito's dad's territory in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
That's about all you really need on old Savio, because I don't think at this point he's part of Los Boricuas, who was they had gang warfare in WWF at one point, with them like a biker gang, and it's just shit. Nation of Domination. It was a lot of racial tension, shall we say, in those storylines. Making his WrestleMania debut, we finally get Stone Cold Steve Austin. Holly, did this make you feel as though you were approaching your comfort zone?
A little bit, but also it's quite nice to see Stone Cold here. Yeah.
Yeah, good looking lad.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's always been a good looking lad.
Yeah, but like...
Got blue eyes and everything.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it does work.
It really works here.
I
was happy, yeah.
Yeah, so Stone Cold's getting added to the list, is he?
Yeah.
God damn. As Stone Cold comes to the ring, Vince ironically keeps talking about how the backlot brawl had stunned him. The $1 Million title is raised into the air by Austin moments before we're taken backstage to Doc Hendricks, who is standing with Savio Vega. Doc says this is the biggest match of Savio's life, and we are now shown footage from Superstars of Savio being paired with Austin through the luck of the draw, and Stone Cold refusing to tag in not once, but twice. Savio hits Austin, who then proceeds to climb the buckles and connect with a double axe handle. We then see the two men brawl at another Superstars show before Savio was put in the $1 Million Dream. Doc asks how he plans to avoid it, and Savio completely fucking ignores the question, as he says he cannot wait to fight Stone Cold. Why? Why give us that? We didn't need any of that. The two trade wild hands until Vega... Wait, no, no.
Before this,
yeah, please.
Just putting it out there, we know my phone likes to autocorrect.
Oh, God.
So...
Savlon?
No, Savio and Vega go together as Omega.
Omega?
Yeah, apparently.
Kenny?
And I literally just wrote, I don't care, I'm keeping it. Because it was so much effort.
Okay.
So, if I quote this name at any point, that's what I mean.
Okay, fine. Good to know. The bell sounds as Savio slides into the ring and is immediately set upon by Austin. The two trade wild right hands until Vega drops Austin with a headbutt and a big sidewalk slam. Mounted rights from the Puerto Rican, but the position quickly gets reversed and the two roll to the outside. Wild brawl from both men until Vega opens up the Puerto Rican butcher's counter with well-seasoned and spiced shops. Shops. It's French. Okay, it's like
shop.
It's Puerto Rican / Parisian cuisine combined to make shops. And I am not going to correct myself. Savio makes to go after Ted DiBiase, but Vega is alert to the danger and chops Austin as he looks to charge from behind. Hello. Face first goes, you'd be alright with that now. Face first goes Stone Cold off the apron and the two return to the ring. Vega ducks early off a whip but prevents a kick, although he fails to block the following right. Stone Cold sends Vega shoulder first into the ring post before levelling the Puerto Rican with a double axe handle to the face.
Just have a drink.
Have a drink there, please.
Yep.
I beg your pardon. Is ticked off the Vince Bingo book as Austin stomps down on Savio. Axe handle to the back leads to a 2 count, and Austin now applies an arm lock before transitioning to a standing hammerlock. Savio elbows free before grabbing the neck and beautifully flipping over the back. Austin ducks the spin kick, but the Savat kick lands clean. 2 count for Savio. Vince now informs us that we have Hot Rod on the line, and Piper informs that if this fruitcake thinks this is how this is going to end, he is 10 kinds of wrong. Holly?
This is fucking ridiculous.
Why?
It's so dumb. So dumb. This made me angry. I was like, just let me watch the chuffing match. Like,
Stone Cold's first ever WrestleMania match has got
and
this
he's getting
talked
mugged
over.
off by some shite recording of a crap phone call that means fuck all.
I think it's an interesting point you raised, but I'd like to hear what the German commentary team say in this match as well. That's what it feels like.
Yes, exactly.
It really does.
Or let's introduce everyone.
Yeah. Have you noticed they're not doing that now in WWE anymore?
Yes.
Thank Christ.
They listen to your letter.
Yeah, just no offence. You know, well done. These guys are doing commentary. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
I don't give a shit.
No.
Do they do the reverse on French commentary? Oh, we're introducing the English announcers, Michael Cole and Corey Graves. They go,
That's a nice wave.
and then Corey Graves goes, "Oh, Michael, we're really excited about this. SmackDown number 1."
I wish we
And then
could see you.
Sho Funaki's like, that's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, of course, we have the match continuing between Austin and Vega. Back into the ring post via his shoulder
Drink.
goes Savio, and we hear the sirens in the background of the phone call. Stone Cold is wrenching the arm over the top rope and applies a modified camel clutch that Vega quickly escapes. Now, do you know why I hated that call actually coming in? I should have been more specific.
Oh, no.
Wasn't a fan of it, because I had to then watch that same fucking bit twice to listen to what he was saying and then write down what was actually happening in the ring. So I got to experience that twice.
Oh, I'm so glad for you.
What are you? That's very kind of you. Clothesline attempt is ill-advised as it only further damages Vega's arm. Chop block brings Savio to the canvas where he drives his knee into the arm of Savio before reapplying an arm lock. Piper is suddenly back on the line and he tells us he will continue to fight even if it goes down to Tijuana.
I don't care.
No, quiet. I didn't
don't care.
No one cared. In the ring, and Savio looks to escape the hammerlock the same way he did the first time, but Austin is wily and drops him directly onto his back. Learning. I like that. From the second rope, Austin hits a forearm drop and gets a 2 count. In the corner, Vega tries to fire back with a boot, but Austin cuts him off early with one of his own. I enjoy hearing Vince say cellular phone.
Cellular.
That just really dates it. Puts you in the era, doesn't
You
it?
imagine it's a big brick one with an antenna as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like the one, I'm trying to think of a film that I've seen it in, and I haven't got one to example, which is not...
Hasn't he got a big one in American... Is it Psycho?
Yes.
American Psycho.
Yeah,
Christian Bale, like the big
yes.
phone.
Anything that's like kind of from the stock market in that era
Yeah.
feels like everyone's got one of those.
Wolf of Wall Street sort of.
Exactly
Yeah.
that. Exactly that. Off the ropes, Savio ducks a clothesline and connects with a crossbody for a near fall. Thez press from Austin is still in its early phases as the referee looks to count while Stone Cold is hitting rights. Sunset pin reversal gets 2. This is then reversed into a pin for Austin, which gets 2. That is flipped back to a sunset pin for Savio for 2. Jackknife pin from Stone Cold gets 2, and we're done with that sequence.
Yeah.
Savio looks to attempt a backslide pin, but due to the damage in his arm, is unable to deliver, allowing Aston to drive Vega face into the canvas. So what have you got there?
The first point.
Okay,
it
so
comes round again.
you need to read that out loud. Because you're at the right part.
Am I right and bang on?
Yeah.
It's fucking Piper again.
So,
Honestly.
Holly, I think you actually need to directly...
But, oh my god, fuck off with Piper.
We are now shown aerial footage of Piper chasing Goldust with a formation of police cars in pursuit.
Sure.
From the corner, Vega connects with a spinning back kick which wipes Stone Cold out. Now on the second rope, Vega looks to hit a splash, but Austin gets the knees up. Body slam attempt from Stone Cold sees Vega instead wrap up a small package,
Hey.
for a near fall. Body slam connects at the second time of asking, and it's now Austin who heads to the top rope before jumping face first into a raised boot from Savio. Both men are down and referee Tim White begins to count. Back on their feet, and they exchange blows until Vega emerges ahead, dropping Stone Cold with a big right hand. Massive chop off a whip drops Austin. You were expecting massive chopper, weren't you?
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah. Always.
Well, yeah. Sorry to disappoint. And he is quickly hit with a back body drop. Two clotheslines connect from Savio, but his spinning heel kick is ducked by Austin and connects with the official in a bump that would make Earl Hebner rock fucking hard. Deebs grabs the $1 million belt and places it in the ring before distracting Savio. Once again, Austin looks to sneak up behind, but is dropped with a big boot. Savio can't make the pin as the ref is still down, and he's now arguing with DiBiase. Stone Cold dings Savio off the skull with a belt and comically falls knees first onto Tim White, who no-sells it.
Yeah.
With his head hanging over the ring apron, Austin drives the belt into the back of the skull after jumping off. The ref is still out as Austin begins choking Vega, and DiBiase brings him to with a full cup of Coke to the face.
Yeah.
I assume that was Coke. I hope it wasn't someone's chewing tobacco spit.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Well, to be fair, you'd know if it was.
Grim.
Tim White crawls his way over to Vega. Holly, can you do the honours, please?
He's asleep. He's asleep. Hey, he stays asleep.
He stays asleep. Just like that, this one is over, and Austin wins his WrestleMania debut by technical submission. He refuses to release the hold, as Vince says this can cause permanent damage. McMahon is heavily criticising the state of the officiating in this match. As Stone Cold is leaving, we're shown more White Bronco footage, and Vince says that this feels familiar, but he leaves it at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Holly,
Sure.
thoughts on the match? Give me a score.
I don't think it was too bad, actually. I enjoyed it more than the first one. Marginally, but I enjoyed it more than the first one. I could have done without all the other shite, let's be clear.
Yep.
That was nothing to do with the match.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 2.5.
Okay, so Big Dave, 2 stars.
Oh.
I put it at 2.25.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason was the match content was fine. It was no better, no worse than what the first match. Well, I say the first official match because I'm not including the backlot brawl. But the going back to the same shit with Piper really took me out of the match, so it didn't feel like it had a flow to it.
Yeah,
and that wasn't the fault of the people involved, that's just how it kind of came across. Now, we're going backstage.
We are.
Mr. Perfect talks us through footage of Diesel being dragged through the ring by Undertaker in a cage match against Bret Hart. We're then shown Diesel marching to the ring where the Undertaker is standing, but thanks to the lights going out, when he gets there, Taker is gone. Finally, we see Diesel look into a coffin at ringside and removes the plastic covering to see his own face lying there. Mr. Perfect asks Diesel if he's affected by these mind games. Diesel answers the question with a question, saying, "Does he look concerned? That's why he's Big Daddy Cool, because he doesn't sweat the small things. He doesn't sweat the big things either." Holly does, however, like to sweat with the big things, but that is neither here nor there.
Oh my god.
Diesel then refers to Undertaker as a big obstacle. Tonight, Big Daddy takes cool of you, and then Sean, good luck. I'll beat you next. This man cannot cut a solid promo at Mania. It just doesn't happen. What the fuck? Take cool of you? That's not... No! You fucking idiots. He was trying to be so fucking suave about it, and he just comes across like a fucking idiot to me. What did you think? He's a tall drink of water.
Yes. Yes.
Go from there.
I didn't really pay too much attention.
Why is that?
He's got one of those faces that, exactly, like you just, not impersonated, but like, I didn't really listen. I was just watching.
Why?
It's just distracting. Also, I
So he's
think
a good-looking guy.
I probably also realised what he was saying was absolute dross and thought, let's not ruin this
But
and
it's
listen.
just his smunty face.
Yeah, it's a bit of swag, like,
But
it's playing a character.
But I feel like it's kind of him just turned up slightly. Just, I don't know.
But I knew you wouldn't like it, so that's why I also
Big
found it
Daddy's going to
amusing.
take cool of you.
We know how I feel about the daddy thing as well, so it's a bit weird.
I mean,
Weird.
okay, fine. Perfect then sends it back to King and says that McMahon can talk too, I guess. We're briefly shown more footage of Piper chasing Goldust, and King says it's like deja vu all over again.
Yeah, no shit. Of which I don't give any.
Well, speaking of not giving a shit, let's jump right into the next match, shall we?
Okay.
We've got
Yeah.
2 WrestleMania debuts. Well, no, not 2 WrestleMania. You got 2 WrestleMania debuts
From the
for you.
effectively same
Yeah.
team.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Sable
Yes.
versus the Ultimate Warrior.
I know.
Holly, is this the first time you've seen this version of the future Triple H?
This version, yes, and I was so confused.
What do you think?
He looks like the Beauty and the Beast, right? The
Sweet Christ.
cartoon version. He looks like at the end when the Beast turns into the man,
Yep.
and when every girl goes, weirdly he looked more attractive as the Beast than he did
Well,
the
I'm glad
man.
you think that, because I look far more like the Beast than I do the cartoon at the end.
But this look was odd.
Odd is certainly one way to describe this look. Just the snobby aristocrat side of things
Yeah.
didn't really land for me personally
No.
for Triple H. Although this period I'm just calling him Hunter or
Yes.
Hearst Helmsley or something like that, because I tried to stick with the character at the time.
This is also the most clothes I've ever seen Sable wear.
Boo!
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, yeah, she wasn't her own entity.
She wasn't
at the
wearing
moment.
like stick-on hands by this point. Back in the room, let's not think about that. Thank you.
I was thinking about King actually and what difficult position he was put in there. To be fair though, like, I'm not defending the King because there's a lot of stuff you can't defend. But imagine you're wearing full kit wanker gear.
Yeah.
You've just seen a woman who's attractive, whip them out.
Right.
Your boner control's got to be on point.
I wouldn't know. I don't.
It's
Funny
a
enough,
concern.
I don't have that problem with the boner.
Well, mine's so small I don't either. But like, I don't, because you can't tuck it in your waistband because that's your fucking lycra. And you go helmet showing, King. But I don't know. I'm assuming he's also got a helmet. As Hunter enters the ring, King says that he heard Ultimate Warrior stepped on the scales and they said to be continued. He apparently now weighs over 400 pounds and has a shaved head. Didn't land for me, King.
No.
Now here is a piece of music that we have not heard for some time as the cameras take us to the entryway and we see a pyrotechnical display of the Warrior's face paint hanging over the aisleway and the man himself comes charging out as fireworks go off.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that Vince was pleased to have Warrior back, but it wouldn't last long. As is customary, Warrior sprints his way to the ring and we get even more fireworks when he gets there. I'll give him this, he looks great and the crowd are very into this return at this stage. Great ring jacket.
Brilliant look. Brilliant.
Really great ring jacket.
Absolutely brilliant.
Unbelievable! And we are well on our way to a full house in Vince Bingo now. As Warrior looks to descend from the fourth corner of pandering to the crowd, Hunter jumps in from behind with right hands, and we have the opening bell. Warrior, who is still wearing his jacket, gets whipped into the ropes but manages to duck a clothesline attempt. He cannot, however, avoid a kick to the gut and pedigree that follows.
Yeah, right. So I was like, early? This is very early. Obviously then what follows happens, but obviously then I was also like, no, the pedigree I think for some reason gets more effective in later years.
No, it's just Warrior, he's not human! King on comms is going mad celebrating how this one is over, but before Hunter can make it back to his feet, the Warrior is up shaking his head to a pop. Now the jacket comes off and Warrior begins war dancing around the ring as Hunter strikes at his back. Big right from Warrior sends the blue blood down, as do 3 clotheslines that follow in short order. Flying shoulder tackle connects and Warrior is now reaching for the heavens. Press slam connects, as does the running splash to the back, and we get the 1, the 2, the 3, as Warrior pins Hunter with knees on his chest in full get fucked mode.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior is back! Vince screams. Several questions for you on this, Ollie.
Oh, okay.
Firstly,
Yes.
so Triple H has come out first.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, cool. I assume you heard on the commentary them saying it's going to be the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
What did you think was going to... Do you think it was going to be the exact same Warrior we'd seen? Did you think it was going to look different, have a different approach?
No,
Were you
genuinely,
excited?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Didn't really have any like pre-thought about it. I just thought, oh, I wonder if he'll look exactly the same.
Which he does
But,
pretty much.
Yeah, basically does. I wondered if he'd still do the same entrance. I was like, oh, it's been a few years. Still does.
Yeah.
Still does the thing that makes me nervous, where he holds onto the top rope, leans back, and then shakes it around. Because I'm just like, my God, imagine if you slipped and fell off.
The man only has one gear when it
Yeah.
comes to ring entrances, and this is that
Yeah.
gear. It's 5. Straight out of
Yeah,
neutral into
absolutely.
5th gear and hope for the fucking best. Short match.
Yes.
Did that surprise you? Did it not surprise
No,
you?
didn't surprise me, I'll be honest.
When he got up from the pedigree,
Brilliant.
what you thought that was great?
Yep.
I thought this is a way to kill a career.
Oh, did you?
Triple H looks like an absolute fucking chump.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolute
yes,
chump.
he does, but I didn't think that because obviously that's not the case. So that thought didn't even cross my mind.
I could be mistaken, but I feel like as part of the agreement to get Triple H to basically get squashed at WrestleMania, the following year they gave him the King of the Ring.
I see.
As a kind of, oh, thank you for doing that. Here's this
Okay,
for you.
Fair enough.
Also, he was in the clique, so he had friends in the right places. What did you score the match?
Right. Don't judge me for this. Don't judge me. I freaking loved this. It was short. It was fun. The person I wanted to win won. I just really liked it. The theatrics, I thought it was great. And the fact that it was all about Warrior. Like, I just really enjoyed it. 3.
Fuck off. That is absolute fucking shit. That's 3 stars.
I know, but I'm aware it's stupid, but I enjoyed it.
You're out of your goddamn mind. That is
I'm aware of that already.
mental.
But, yeah, I know. Sorry.
So, Big Boy Dave, 0 stars.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not mad at that. Do you know what I mean? I understand it because it is like a 10-second match, but I fucking loved it.
Scott, half a star, and that's because I thought it was funny when he got up from the pedigree.
Okay. I know 3 is ridiculous. I'm aware
It's
of this.
fucking mental.
I know it is, but
That's
at
the
least
maddest call you've made.
At least I can accept and admit that it's ridiculous.
And do you know what? It's your scores. Do what you will with them.
Thank you.
But that is actually the fucking maddest thing you've said. That is insane.
I really liked it.
So you really enjoyed that match, which is upsetting as it is surprising.
Sorry.
But I'll give you a bit more background. I'll back it up with a story for you.
Okay.
So I've gone back to the Sportster for this. I'm not going just on that website to look this stuff up. I'm looking in general. It just happens
You've
to
got
be
shares in them, haven't you?
No, apparently. Well, it would look like that, but no. I'm just basically going wherever the information takes me. And this is about Warrior. In his absence from the company, Warrior was fairly inactive, with only a handful of dates over the next few years. In 1996, Warrior made his return, defeating Triple H at WrestleMania 12, though it was clear that he was far from the performer he was previously. WWE was undergoing a change in era too, and the Warrior character just didn't feel as though it fit in with the way wrestling was changing. Fair point. In addition, several of the same issues started arising with Warrior, the most notable of which saw him missing house shows events once again. When contacted, Warrior explained that it was due to the death of his father, though the likes of Vince McMahon were aware that Warrior hadn't seen his father for at least a decade, so him taking that much time off didn't add up logically. Bruce Pritchard also revealed on Something to Wrestle podcast that Warrior wanted WWE to purchase and sell his comic books, but when WWE didn't meet his demands, it caused tension between the two parties. In 1996, WWE made the call to terminate his contract just a few months after he'd made a return, though with how poor his comeback was going, that was probably for the best.
Oh.
He was not there long at all.
Oh dear.
But from one massive high for you to another probably massive high, I don't know how to gauge what you do anymore. We go backstage where we see a non-mulleted Todd Pettingzoo who is stood backstage with an outrageously colourful dicky bow on, and he introduces us to a new superstar in the WWF, Wildman Mark Mero.
Okay. This is we've seen him, right, at Beach Bash?
Here you go, Holly. Johnny B. Bad is in the WWF.
Thank you. That's what I assumed, but I didn't want to just,
And you know who he's married to, right?
No.
Sable.
Oh. Okay.
And this is before Sable was her own entity that she later became. Which is interesting when you see who he actually feuds with in this segment. So Miro says that he's been waiting 5 long years and he's finally arrived in the WWF. And what better place to do it than at the Super Bowl of sports entertainment? That line reeks of Vinnie Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Todd asks if Miro is up to the challenge, and as he gives his response, he's shoved from behind by Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Mm-hmm.
Miro shoves him back, and Hunter now begins to mouth off at Sable, Miro's real-life wife, until he's tackled into the shutter as the two of them roll around on the floor brawling. More footage of Piper in the white Bronco, and Vince informs us that he is on his way to the arena as Goldust is coming to see Marlena. How he knows that, I don't know.
Maybe they had another cellular phone call.
Another cellular phone call. Well, quite right. On that particular angle, so you knew it was Johnny B. Bad, but you weren't entirely sure.
Yep.
How do you think it is without him in the flamboyant gear doing the voice? It's weird, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I love the fact that you saw Johnny B. Bad before you saw Marvellous Mark Mero. We go into another match, Holly.
We do. We do.
Okay. You don't sound enthused by it.
I don't even really... The problem I have with these matches now, with this particular person, is I know how they finish.
But they can still be good matches.
Can they, though? Because I know how it ends.
So, you're saying that if you know the ending to something, you don't enjoy it?
It just kind of ruins a little bit. I don't like the whole programme when they tell me what matches are coming, let alone... I don't know. It takes a little bit of the shine off for me. Okay.
Let me ask you a follow-up question to that then. Do you ever watch films or TV shows more than once?
Yeah, but that's different.
Why?
Because I know I wouldn't watch a mediocre film more than once.
Okay.
So it's good, so I know...
But you hadn't seen how they...
shut up. I don't know.
I knew as soon as I got that's different. I was like, she hasn't got anywhere to go on this one.
No, I don't. That is different.
It's different because it doesn't work with your argument.
It just takes a little bit of the shine off.
Okay.
Knowing how it ends.
Okay. Sex must be really brutal for you then.
Well, you don't know how it's going to end. Not all the time.
Oh dear.
Might be a surprise.
Well,
it doesn't always finish the same way, does it?
In the same place, you mean? Or do you mean like what do you mean?
Well, I don't understand what you're trying to get at.
Well, there's always someone comes.
Yeah, but you don't always finish in the same, like...
No, well, rhythm.
Way, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, fair. Okay, fair enough.
So that's a moot point.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like that's different.
It is.
Oh no, that's your argument. Shit. I feel it's not different. The match.
Yes.
Speaking of cum, Diesel versus Undertaker with Paul Bearer. Again, you knew what the outcome of this match was going to be.
Did.
Were you at least intrigued?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of intrigue there. This is still when I did think Undertaker was alright here. Like,
fine, yeah, I agree.
The look is good, the gimmick is good.
Agree.
It all works.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to peter out, I think, maybe quite soon.
Fair, yeah.
But at the moment, it's still fine. Also, Diesel, yeah, great, fine. Two big guys against each other, and I thought, oh, okay, like maybe it will actually be a fair comparison.
Okay. We'll see how that unfolds.
We will.
Diesel, slowly but surely, cools his way to the ring. He has a cool look on his face, and he cools his arm into the air before cool-fiving a fan. The ring pyro then cools as both arms are cooled into the air once more. See, Kev, that is why trying to use a word out of place like that is fucking stupid. Great entrance from The Undertaker, who is well and truly into his second stage within the WWF.
Very long entrance, though.
The lights in the arena are low, and we see blue calf-high fog seep into the aisle. Nice touch.
Yes.
As the dead man, lit under a number of spotlights... What?
Sorry. I'm so sorry. After you've done your chat on the entrance...
Okay.
Right. I can tell you how long this entrance was by what I did whilst it was on.
Okay.
It's not juicy before you get excited.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm very intrigued. As the dead man, lit under a number of spotlights in the middle of the ring, slowly raises his arms, the arena lights return. The cameras take us to Diesel, who is standing outside smiling, showing no fear. He strides over the top rope, and the bell sounds as the two men come to blows.
This entrance was long enough for me to get up. Obviously, we've seen how small my place is, right? Get up.
Not a euphemism.
Open a bottle of Prosecco. Open a bottle of Aperol Spritz. Get some ice out the fridge. put some Aperol in the glass. Oh, put some Prosecco in the glass. Oh, put some soda in the glass. Give it a stir around. Give it a little test. Oh, lovely. It's perfect. Sit down. Still not fucking finished.
Follow-up question. You put the ice in first, yeah?
Yeah.
You missed that. You said you got ice out.
Oh, sorry.
So when you were making it,
Oh,
I
no,
was
ice
like...
in, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just got the ice out just for a laugh.
You just held on to it, went, that's going to melt.
Yeah.
Walked off.
That is precisely how long that entrance is.
You say precisely, but you said it was still going and you didn't give me a time frame.
Still fucking so long.
It's still going now.
So
He's still
long.
entering the ring. I will say one thing about this. It's just that it's the Diesel thing.
Mm.
I get you're a big guy too. You showing no apprehension or fear towards Undertaker doesn't make you look tough or cool. It makes Undertaker look bad to me.
Okay.
Because you should be concerned about someone who, in theory, if you're going based on the character and storylines, has some sort of supernatural fucking abilities.
So you would have liked to have seen Diesel maybe at least show something on his face that's a bit like... Oh,
not
dear.
even necessarily be like biting your nails. I'm not talking about anything comical. But just don't look like you're like, hey, fuck this. I don't care.
But he's
smiling. Cool. Oh, he's tall. Good.
No, he's cool.
Oh, he's cool. Yeah, he's cool. He's a lot of things are cool. Can't fucking walk without fucking his knee falling apart. But yeah, apart from that. Anyway, I'm not mad. Diesel gets the... So we've already said they've come to blows.
Yes.
Diesel gets the better of this exchange and he whips Taker into the buckles before following it in with a corner splash. Big Daddy Cool lines him up and delivers a knee before whipping the dead man into the opposite corner. This charge doesn't find its mark as Taker gets the boot up and follows with a clothesline, putting the big man down. Quick question. I know you're not a fan of the phrase daddy when it comes to that kind of stuff, but if Diesel said to you, call me Big Daddy,
no,
you would still say no?
I just find that weird.
Yeah.
I can't get over that.
Okay.
If I was ever with anybody and we're in the throes
of
passion, we're having a lovely time, if they literally whispered in my ear,
Daddy likes.
No, fucking drier than the Sahara, I'd be done and I would never speak to them again. No, thank you. No.
The worst part is that I can't be involved in that situation to see your reaction, but it's all I want to see.
No, honestly, I just don't even know how I would come back from that. No.
Quite literally.
Yeah, no.
Running elbow from the... I was just curious. Running elbow drop from the dead man misses, and Diesel clotheslines him over the top to the floor. Taker lands on his feet, however, and drags Big Daddy Cool under the bottom rope. A series of shots to the gut land, but the dead man is prevented from returning to the ring as Diesel pulls him back to the floor and looks to march him into the steel stairs. Taker blocks this with his boot before driving Diesel's head into the metal instead. As the dead man re-enters the ring, Diesel is prepared and stomps down, but ducks too early off a whip and eats an uppercut for his troubles. Mm-hmm. An impressive show of strength as Taker looks to elevate Diesel for the tombstone, but he slips out the back door. Taker hits the ropes, ducks a clothesline before connecting with a crossbody for a count of 2. Armringer by Taker, who very slowly walks to the top rope and hits old school, which only staggers Diesel. Fucking hated it.
Yeah, I knew. I think this... Oh, fucking hell, words. I think I knew here, you know when you've moaned about it before and I've been like, oh, it's fine. But here I went, yeah, it's a bit too...
Took too long.
Slow and laboured for me. Get up, get over, get down. Oh, yeah.
That was a sound
casual
like a song.
Saturday night.
Yeah, get up, get down. For me as well, because of how big Diesel is, I don't believe he's nearly incapacitated enough to not do something.
Just push him off.
Push him off, pull him off, do something with it. Off him in some way.
Yeah.
Undertaker looks to hit a running clothesline, but Big Daddy Cool drops down and Taker ends up in the ropes. Diesel lifts Taker to his feet on the apron, but the dead man guillotines him over the top. Back in the ring, and Taker hits a series of deliberate uppercuts that sends Diesel over the top to the floor. On the outside, and Diesel finds himself run back first into the ring post.
Drink.
With Bearer distracting the ref, Taker looks to kill Diesel as he picks up a chair and swings for the fences. But Big D drops and the dead man connects with the post instead.
Drink.
But he didn't
it's involved, so we're drinking.
I may call him Big D from now on.
Okay.
Taker finds himself whipped into... It's no fun if you don't play along. Whipped into the barricade as the ref tells both men to return to the ring. Diesel briefly breaks the count, but returns to the outside to pick Taker up and run him back first into the post.
Drink.
Make it twice, in
As
fact.
I did several times whilst this match was on.
Make it twice, in fact.
Yes, drink.
Thank you. Diesel looks to make a move for Paul Bearer, but instead returns to the ring. Taker slowly looks to follow, but is booted back to the floor before being dragged back in over the top rope. Whip to the dead man, and he is not nay-nayed, and he is dropped with a big boot. Vince says Taker is being dominated like we have never seen before, and from Argentina, Giant Gonzalez raises his hand.
It's so mean.
No, seriously, if you're talking about a WrestleMania domination, you're telling me Gonzalez didn't dominate Taker more than Diesel is here. I'm not having a dig, I'm saying he genuinely did. But you think I'm having a joke, don't you?
I do.
He chloroformed the motherfucker, and he's 8 foot. How did he not dominate him? He did everything but put his fucking sausage in his mouth. And he nearly fucking wiped his ass on the top turnbuckle, as you recall, because he's that fucking tall. Diesel beckons Taker to his feet before dropping him to his knees with a stiff forearm. With the dead man on his knees, another big right drops Taker onto his face. Sidewalk slam from Big D earns him a count of 2. Snake Eyes into the corner follows, and then Diesel connects with a guillotine over the middle rope. Diesel calls his arm, oh sorry, I'm done with that bit, now into the air, and then methodically offloads knees to the midsection in the corner. Corner whip sees the dead man bounce back out and hit a back elbow. Both big men hit each other with rights before putting each other down with a pair of big boots. Nice spot, that.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
Paul Bearer is heard uttering about the power of the urn, and Undertaker sits up.
Mm-hmm.
Both men return to their feet, and Diesel applies the dreaded bear hug after sending Taker into the buckles.
Boring.
As far as bear hugs go, this one's shit.
Yes.
Eventually Taker manages to free himself with a double ear slap.
Oh, is that the thing where they literally just like
smack their hands
over the back of the head?
That's called clapping, yes.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so the
around the heads in the
forearms,
middle, like, yeah. Okay. I should put a big head clap.
Big head clap. Sounds very interesting, that.
Sorry.
Side headlock from Taker, and King decided to inexplicably shout, "You got him, baby!" Why? Why, King? Back suplex by the dead man breaks the hold, and both men are down.
Yep.
Taker returns to his feet and drops an elbow, but decided against a pin, instead choosing to go to the top rope for a flying clothesline which connects but is only enough for a 2 count.
Mm-hmm.
The dead man ducks too early off a whip, and this gives Diesel the perfect opportunity, easy for me to say, to hit a jackknife powerbomb, although arrogantly he doesn't make the cover, instead smiles and points down at the dead man. Why?
Yeah, I know.
Stupid. Like if you're in the throes of passion of a wrestling match,
yeah, okay.
you have to finish.
Of course you do.
Like, I'm just saying. But he was very lucky the streak carried on. It's almost like it was booked. Diesel walks over to Taker and pokes him with his foot twice before the dead man sits bolt upright. Now I get Diesel doesn't sweat the big or small things, but he should have had a more visible surprise reaction than that.
Yeah, no, I do agree on that.
He simply waves Undertaker back to his feet. Diesel signals for a second jackknife, which he then proceeds with delivering, but again, he takes too long to bask in his success. Big D signals this one is over before slowly going to make the cover, but before he can, Taker has him by the throat. I quite like that.
Yeah.
Diesel punches his way free, which I was fine with, but Taker returns to the throat not once more, but twice, and now he is on his feet.
Yep.
Big D swats the hand away before connecting with a back suplex of his own. As Diesel returns to his feet, Taker sits up and is waiting for Big D to turn around. The two big men trade strikes until Taker hits a flying clothesline. Chokeslam to Diesel is less than impressive, but he is a big man in fairness. Taker is now on one knee and signals to the urn before slicing at his throat with his thumb and delivering a tombstone pole driver for the 1, the 2, the 3. The streak continues and you're sat there shaking your head vehemently.
Oh, tombstone's just awful for me.
Especially with a man
on a
that
big
size.
guy.
Took it fine though.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like it. I don't like it, and because we're doing this, I can't not watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just like, oh, look away. Like, no, I have to actually watch. It really,
It's
I
not the
don't
only
like
thing
it.
that'll make you pull away from this one.
No, but I don't like it.
The arena lights go down once more as the dead man celebrates his win with Paul Bearer before he heads backstage. What were your thoughts on the match, Holly? You knew the result, obviously, even though you didn't for his first few Mania matches.
Yeah, I know, I've remembered now.
But what did you think of this one? What did you score it?
Do you know what? I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I scored it a little bit less than the Warrior one.
It's fucking atrocious.
2.75.
Okay. I'm actually going to give it a 3. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty good for
Yeah.
the two men involved.
Especially for two big guys as
Yeah.
well. I thought it showed their capabilities.
Yeah.
A little bit more acting could have been included, but
Diesel let himself down on
Hey-ho.
that one, I'll be honest, but I thought neither man really missed a beat.
Nope.
In terms of what they did in ring. It was one of Diesel's better WWF matches, certainly that we've seen
okay.
in the podcast. Undertaker's had some absolute shockers with the likes of Gonzalez. This was not one of them.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. Another Big D, Dave, gave it 2.25.
Okay.
Not atrocious in terms of scoring, but I feel like it could have got a little bit more,
Yeah.
personally. Speaking of getting a little bit more, backstage we've got another version, I nearly put. A shaven-headed petting zoo informs us that they are tracking the monitors in the arena to see when Goldust and Piper will arrive. As they close in on the CCTV footage, we see the golden Cadillac of Goldust crash through the barriers, swiftly followed by Piper in the white Bronco. From there, we go to the live cameras following the action as the two men drive into the arena. Goldust slams on the brakes before Piper crashes the Bronco into the side of the Cadillac and makes chase. Goldust looks to be in bad nick as he is staggering and in need of Marlena's assistance to stay upright, it seems. He takes a knee as Marlena rubs his head and neck lovingly, but I actually thought it was a nice moment. She genuinely looked concerned, like she was looking after him. But the cameras try to follow the noise, which we hear Piper's in hot pursuit, but lose the action as Piper evidently took another route to the entryway, and we instead see Big Daddy Cool walking casually past, unwrapping his wrist tape.
Yeah.
At this point, where did you think we were going with this?
I just didn't care. I'm so over this shit. So fucking over this shit.
Did you think it was going to be like a now full-on match, or you thought it was going to be a little shtick? Did you think it was going to continue? What did you think
I
was going
said
to
it'd be
happen?
the same shit that we'd already seen, just in a different location. Oh, and it was.
Yeah, there was a little bit more wrestling, though.
A little
this
bit,
one.
not a lot.
Well, we didn't see a pile driver in the parking lot, did we?
No, but... Oh, anyway.
Goldust versus Roddy Piper, Hollywood Backlot Brawl, Part 2. Now live in the arena, we see Goldust begging off as he slowly walks away from Piper. Even falling to his knees, pleading. You've laughed.
It's the first point I have. I ultimately just don't care. So,
It's amazing they didn't say that on commentary, really, isn't it?
oh, my God.
That does little to dissuade Hot Rod, who charges at Goldust and tackles him into the ring apron. We see Piper wrapping his broken hand as the two men enter the ring and begin to trade blows. Goldust begins kicking at the leg, and it drops Hot Rod to the canvas. Goldust is working over the right knee and drops a leg to the groin before taunting over the fallen Federation president. Goldust sets up for a pile driver by seductively slapping and grabbing both cheeks of Piper, but Hot Rod fights out, if only for a moment, before Goldust strikes him to the knee and stops his momentum. What did you think about the arse slap?
I had actually forgotten.
Were you excited?
No.
Oh,
Why would I be excited by
I
that?
don't know, little man slappy arse
No, I don't want to see two men. No.
in the throes of passion again.
Yeah, again.
I'll be honest, I don't think either of these two men would have been up for that.
No,
either.
I don't think they would have either. But I had also forgotten about Goldust really entirely, and that was the character's thing, and I'd totally forgotten that. And then I saw the rest of this and went, yeah, it's there now.
Well, did you not see how he played the bagpipe?
Oh yes, but you know.
Imagine Dusty seeing that with his boy.
Know.
Oh dear. And Cody. Oh, Cody, your brother's a wrestler. Which channel's he on? No, don't worry about it. Honestly, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I've completely lost where I am. Oh no, there we go. Now Goldust strips Piper of his shirt and begins choking him with the remnants of it.
Now that I thought was clever.
Yeah, fine with that. That's the best stripping thing we see.
Yes.
I'll tell you that for free.
Yes.
Goldust pulls Hot Rod to the corner of the ring and wraps his injured right knee around the post.
This looks like some BDSM evening gone wrong. It's literally the next note I've got.
You almost called out what was about to happen. I assume you hadn't yet seen it?
No.
Perfect. You also didn't shout out drink for getting wrapped around the ring post, but
no,
that's
I was
fine.
probably distracted by what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Hot Rod is now mounted, and Goldust begins seductively taunting before rubbing the chest of Piper and unloading with some right hands. Still not hard?
No.
Okay.
No.
With Goldust now ascending to the top rope, Piper furiously shakes the rope, causing Goldust to fall crotch first. I say furiously. He's got a broken hand.
Yeah, which now you've said that makes sense as to, because I was like, he's literally just giving them a little jiggle. Like it would make more sense if he just ran into them.
Yeah, or
rather
just use the
pull him.
non-broken hand and actually give it some welly, so to speak.
Fair.
Apologies for that gesture, that was unfortunate. The crowd are chanting Roddy as Goldust lands 2 headbutts before planting Hot Rod with a kiss.
Sure, yeah.
Sexy.
Yep, sure.
Piper's whole demeanour changes, and he no-sells a follow-up punch before doing the same on a gut shot and second blow to the head. Now Hot Rod has Goldust in a testicular claw, running around like a lunatic before he drops a knee to the groin. As Goldust returns to his feet, Piper starts spanking him and rips the onesie off to reveal black lingerie and thong, as well as fishnets. I'm pretty sure I've seen Linda wear gear like that in the office.
Oh, fuck.
The crowd are going nutty as Goldust is lying on the canvas with Piper running around trying to fully remove the ring gear, which is just not coming off.
No.
And he drops a second knee to the groin just to really hammer that point home. Goldust, it's got here, now looks to head out as he and Marlena begin scampering back up the entryway. Marlena covers Goldust to try and retain a modicum of modesty for her man. In the middle of the ring, Piper's music begins to play, so I guess that makes him the winner? Was it a strip match?
Yeah, honestly,
bra and
that's why I was
panties?
so confused.
Was this a Hollywood backlot bra and panties?
I was like, hang on, his music's playing. He hasn't done anything apart from take his clothes off. I'm so confused.
He blows kisses and smacks his ass in Goldust's general direction before he waves to the crowd. I guess it's over.
Yeah.
We'll just score this. You can do it in 2 parts, do it in 1 part, do it however the fuck you see fit.
I just was glad it finished, I'll be honest. I put, so that was a match, ? I gave it 1 out of 5, and I gave it 1 out of 5 because I put the crowd were entertained the whole entire time. It wasn't quiet.
No, that's true, actually.
It was loud the whole time. That's it. I don't ever want to see that again.
What do you reckon Big Dave's score was?
0?
Correct.
Oh.
Bang on. I would give it... I'm going to actually go the same as you. 1 star. It wasn't a match, and all the points I'm giving it are for what happened in the first part. Because I found, like I said, as a kid, I actually quite enjoyed that bit. Weirdly, I remember it being so different from anything I'd ever seen. It really held my attention. Yeah. To the point where, until they returned to the arena, I've seen this show before, I kind of forgot about that whole bit.
Yeah.
I just remember the brawl in the car park, and that kind of gives it the rose-tinted glasses for me. Takes a little bit of the shit out of it, shall we say. Yeah, it wasn't a good match. There was no real wrestling. Bit of a mess. Razor would have been interesting in that. Having a proper match with Goldust. But they were determined to do this version of it. Because if they'd just gone, right, okay, Razor Goldust for the title, boom, make it happen. Yeah. Razor probably would have been like, fine. Because there was a thing for a while where Goldust was making moves on Razor, and Razor just looked really uncomfortable with the whole thing. Which, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think Goldust was particularly thrilled about it, mate, to be honest. We've seen his type. It has fake tits.
Yes. Yes.
And isn't good at drinking beer. That's what, do you know when...
Just spills it the whole time. Is that what you and Jamie were doing at Progress?
No, that was you knocking us. When we saw Marlena earlier in the show, sat smoking the cigar with a table of drinks next to her, I actually thought I really wanted to grab her one of the glasses and just go... and then just shake all the way to her mouth and spill it down herself and go, oh no, she's got a problem.
Yeah, she's not drink full stop.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, have you ever seen the film Airplane?
Yes.
With the pilot goes, I've got a problem drinking. He goes, oh, fine, steady your nerves. And he just gets a cup of water and throws it because he can't. This is what I'm imagining for Marlena. Vince starts to discuss the upcoming Iron Man match after telling King it was now safe to look at the ring again. In classic Vince fashion, we learned that he also uses the word manoeuvres in the place of falls by saying, the man with the most manoeuvres, the most finishes, if you would, the most decisions, as it were, and not just for wrestling moves he doesn't know how to call. He asks King who will win. King says how could anything follow what they just saw, but if any 2 people can, it's Brett and Shawn. Before we go into this package...
Yeah.
I know damn well you paused to have a look and see how long was left of the show.
I did, but I didn't think anything of it.
Okay, is that because you saw in previous WrestleManias, like Savage and Flair...
Dude, it's about 40 minutes at the end, people just celebrating.
No, but Savage and Flair had their match halfway through the show, and then the show continued and had like about 5 matches after.
Yeah, so I never know. I never know. So to me, it's a 60-minute match. So I listened to someone's suggestion that said, "Oh, I think you should watch this all in one go." So do you know what? I didn't pause it. I didn't get a drink. I didn't do chuffing nothing. I sat and I watched this from start to finish. Yeah.
You're not going to give a name check to that individual.
He knows.
He knows, and that's enough.
He knows. He won't care, but he knows.
Giving the no, he'll be loving it. Without giving the game away.
Yes.
Okay, right, no, not... Let's pretend you're at the start of the match.
Okay.
What did you expect to see? Don't say a wrestling match.
Wrestling? I don't know.
No, right, let me be more specific.
Yes, please.
You like Brett.
Yes.
You like Sean.
I do.
You know that it's an Iron Man match, so I assume you know it's going the 60 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Did you think we're going to get loads of falls, like a bit like Steamboat
yes,
and
actually,
Rick Rude?
I did think it was going to be quite a physical match, I guess. Like,
and I think it was.
I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to see all the stuff I like to see from these two, and it's going to be brilliant.
Bearing in mind, this is twice as long as the Rick Rude and a bit from Beach Blast. So you could understand, and they would be forgiven for pacing themselves, which they very much did.
Very much.
Maybe a bit too much early doors, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've heard Shawn Michaels say after the fact that he was annoyed at himself for not being in quite as good a shape as he wanted to be for it. He looks in good shape,
oh, yeah, he looks
but
great.
his cardiovascular for it, he said Bret Hart was better conditioned for that match than he was, and it's annoyed him. Fair. I might be out of line saying that, but I'm sure I've heard him say that before. We'll go into the package first. We're not quite at the match just yet.
Start with the package.
Michael Cole is the voiceover. You knew what you did there. You looked at me and you didn't fucking blink. Michael Cole is the voiceover for the VT, where we are shown a highlight reel of both the champion and challenger. We see Shawn Michaels in an intense workout session with his trainer Jose Lothario, a veteran from Texas and WCCW, which is the territory of the Von Erichs. Did you know that he was actually his trainer? No, you didn't know that, so that's a true story. That's the guy who trained Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart is shown being tied up in the Hart Dungeon by his father before Michael Cole, and that sounds a bit more naughty than it actually is. Tying him up in wrestling holds, not as in this is Joseph Fritzl style stuff. He tries to add further gravitas as he ends the piece by saying, "The best, the Iron Man, the champion." Thank you, Michael. Shawn is sat backstage in the package and says for once he doesn't have a lot to say and that everyone knows the story. It's now time to write the final chapter. Oh, if only that were true, but there are more than a few additional chapters between these two men yet to be written. Bret is shown leaning against a pillar with tiny circular sunglasses, and I would like to say he is only permitted to wear his usual brand of sunglasses inside and not these.
Thank you.
Is he in the Matrix?
Honestly, I did see it and I thought, oh no. The guy that's usually exempt from the rule. No.
But to be fair, if I saw Randy wearing them, I'd say the same thing. Unacceptable.
Yeah, fair.
Bret says that this is coming to a head tonight. I thought that was in the match just before. And that everyone will see just how good both men are. He says one man's sunset is another man's dawn, and he just wants to wake up tomorrow morning still being the WWF champion. But Bret, you're the only one that can have the sunset here. So it would dawn for the next person. You're already, your sun's already come out.
Your sun's already up. So
exactly.
If it's down, it's you.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Which,
didn't think about that, I'll be honest.
As soon as he said that, I was like, that's interesting. A very happy Fink proudly announces that the WWF have officially declared a new acting president after Hot Rod was forced to relinquish the role. Now, Holly, let me tell you, this was a happening.
Wasn't it just?
Gorilla Monsoon is the man who will now carry the mantle going forward. We see the man himself smile and wave to the crowd.
Yep.
Please see Gorilla.
I was actually. Yeah, my note just says it's a happening.
That's exactly what I wanted. I love the fact that you know what Jamie put in the group earlier. He's not wrong.
Aww.
Every time you do like those little comments, I go, She's retaining the stuff. It's great.
Yeah, some stuff does actually stay in my brain.
Yeah, brilliant. Finkel now introduces us to the two competitors who will be going head-to-head in the main event. We start with a challenger, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, who appears to have aged 30 years, lost his hair, and is now somehow Latino. Hang on a second. That is his trainer, Jose Lothario, who waves to the fans and nearly trips over the lights being shone onto the floor. But where is Michaels? He said there's nothing to physically trip over. He saw the lights and goes, oh, bless.
No, I was like, oh.
But he does, he trips over something that he thought he saw.
I mean, I laugh. I would be the fucker that would do that.
Oh, speaking of tripping stories.
What? No.
This is amazing.
No.
This is the perfect opportunity to do it. We should have done it for the other Manias when they were tripping down the stairs. So, this is a story. Let me take you back to May of 2023. So just over a full year ago. Holly and I are attending our first wrestling show together in person. We went and saw Progress. This was at Tunnel Park. We went beforehand. Went to this nice little pub that was on the corner.
It was nice, actually.
Yeah, very nice. I had a beer with an orange slice in, which
bougie.
Which Holly was. Well, they offered it to me. I didn't say put an orange slice in my beer.
So you're like, oh, okay.
It was it
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And then you had that for the rest of it.
Yeah, I did because it came with an orange slice. It'd be rude not to. It's fancy. And just before we went to leave that pub to then go and queue up for the show,
yes,
we both went to the toilets.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking mid-conversation on the way there, and the women's toilet was first.
Right, bear in mind also, my attention span is fucking hideous. So if we're talking, that's what I'm concentrating on. I'm not looking where I'm going. I'm not taking in anything else.
So I'm glad Holly caveated that, because what happened was she opened the door and didn't spot that there was a step up to get into the place. Still looking at me having a conversation, she then turns, kicks the step, and then does a running headbutt. If you've ever seen Boris Johnson in Soccer Age try and tackle someone, and fully runs at a 90-degree angle into the wall. And I know what Holly's like.
Oh, it's so funny.
Holly was in hysterics, thankfully, but at the time...
You could still hear me laughing my head off.
Yes. So I wasn't sure, because I've never seen Holly in this kind of situation before.
Fucking funny.
I thought she was going to go really angry.
No,
and
funny.
She was just in hysterics. I was like, oh, good, because I was going to laugh regardless of what happened, but I just didn't want to get in trouble afterwards.
Even now I think about it and I'm mortified that it's too funny.
Holly, I wish you could have seen it from my perspective. Because all I saw...
Or you're just in my legs.
It was just...
It's like Roadrunner.
You turn, and then you see your arse suddenly bang straight out, and then running away. So I was like, what happened? Then I saw the step, because I didn't realise what you'd done. I thought you were doing a weird comedy bit.
Literally, for about 5 minutes, I just couldn't fucking stop laughing.
So then I went to the men's room, and they had an adjoining wall, and Holly's right, which is a weird thing. As I'm sat at the urinal, I'm holding my genitals, hearing my mate laugh through a wall was quite an off-putting experience.
I literally laughed so hard that I was crying. Oh, it was so funny.
And then I was done first. I was waiting outside, and Holly was still laughing as she left the toilets and came over to me. And honestly, it's one of easily, apart from the fact that I got married that year, it was one of my highlights from the whole year.
Just hilarious.
It was fucking sensational.
We just need to be aware of my attention span, because honestly, it was so bad.
It was. I just wish you could have seen it from my perspective. So that's Jose Lothario has made his way to ringside. Shawn isn't with Jose, who is now standing in the middle of the ring, and King says that Michaels must have chickened out and Jose is stepping in as tribute, as it were. Jose now positions himself on the bottom rope and points to the top corner of the arena as Michaels' music hits once more. This, Holly, is the entrance I was telling you about. You're looking at me like this is the first fucking time you've heard me say this.
Yeah.
We were talking about a Logan Paul entrance. And I said, this has fuck all compared to this one.
Yes.
This is the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
We see Shawn Michaels standing in the sky of the arena as the spotlight now trains upon him, and he's dancing along to his tune. He is given the all clear, and here comes the Heartbreak Kid as he ziplines his way to the arena floor in what to me is possibly the greatest WrestleMania entrance of all time.
Yeah.
Definitely up there. The bit where he lands is a bit shit,
well, yeah,
but it kind of has to be. And fair fucks to him, because I sure as fuck wouldn't have done that.
No.
No, not a fan of heights.
No.
No, I assume you would have actually.
Yeah, to be honest, as long as it was safe, I'd have been fine with that.
But the safety isn't the issue. It's the don't piss, vomit, and pass out.
Yeah, I could.
Which,
I would
could you
happily have
imagine?
done that. Yeah.
Right, Scott. Okay, you're going to go and have this hour-long match in a second.
Yeah.
Go up there, zip line in. Have you seen those videos of the people that have passed out?
Yeah, that's what you'd look like, just coming down
covered in piss, shit, and vomit. It'd have been horrendous. Then go, right, Brett, let's have this match. Like, let's give it some bubbly water. Like,
oh. Yes.
So that's how Shawn Michaels makes his way to the ringside area.
Yes.
What did you think?
Really good. Really enjoyed it. And he just looks phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Okay. I've got a follow-up question to that in a second.
Okay.
But now, I believe I may have mentioned this to you in passing before, but whenever there's a stunt of this scale on a WWF show, Vince McMahon will give it a test run himself to show that he wouldn't ask any of his performers to be involved in a potentially hazardous sequence that he would not do himself. And there's footage out there showing Vince doing the same zipline in an empty arena.
Okay.
I believe it's on the WrestleMania documentary, actually, even.
Oh.
So it's worthwhile looking out for. So now, when you say that Shawn looks fantastic, is this his, he's good-looking phase now?
He's in that phase, yeah, for sure. But also, that whole get-up is ridiculous.
Yeah, I really like the get-up as well,
So
to be fair,
good.
of Shawn.
So good.
What was slightly off-putting about the entrance is what we hear Vince shout on commentary as he's coming down. He goes, "Wow, baby!"
Okay.
No, thank you, Vincent. Not for me.
Not for you, no.
Not for me. Which is what Vince is shouting as Shawn lands in the fans and is unclipped from the harness. King says that Michaels had landed right in the middle of his clique, which was what Shawn referred to his fans as, taking that backstage term for that little group of them to be his clique in the wrestling world. Okay, I'm not fussed either way, to be perfectly honest. I feel like it's safe to say, Holly, that this is what you would consider Shawn's good-looking phase to be.
Yep.
Now, did you pause?
No, I told you I didn't.
You
pause
didn't?
at
Oh,
all.
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, that joke died a death.
Yep.
Now, I love a Bret Hart entrance, and although it was the right thing to do, having him come out second as a champion, it feels massively underwhelming when we saw what came before it.
Literally exactly what I said. I literally said I know he has to come out second, but I would have switched them for this.
Yeah.
100% would have switched them.
Bret coming down with things.
No, as in I would have just had Bret come out first. I know you hate that,
Yeah.
but give him the pop that he would have got, and then have
Or fired him out of the cannon. Give Bret something spectacular.
Why not?
Yeah. Actually, this is going to take a little bit of a darker tone now. I didn't actually mention this was in here, but Holly, I do have a quick question for you. Do you have any concerns about Earl Hebner officiating this match at all?
I knew you were going to be annoyed. As soon as I saw it was him, I did the eye roll, and I was like, oh, here we go. How many times is he going to fall over?
Here we fucking go indeed.
Yep.
To be fair, just the once.
Yep.
You're like scrolling
I was so
through.
concerned because I've got 5 notes left. And I was like, I did watch this match, but they're all underneath. So
I was going to say,
safe.
if you've got 5 notes, I had damn near 5 pages of notes for this
I
one.
think I did like the intros because that bit was quite long, and then I've jumped to the rest.
So did I, because I'm still on this bit. That's the match down here.
Jesus.
Later. We see Earl check both men before reading out the rules of the contest, and Jose takes the opportunity to ensure Shawn is loose by rubbing his shoulders down for him.
Cool.
A lot of man-on-man rubbing in this one, and that's even by wrestling standards.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity for us to hear the southern drawl in old Hebner's accent, which is not unpleasant to the ear, I must say. You won't often hear me compliment Hebner, but his drawl was fine. They're really trying to make this match feel like a big deal, and in fairness, that makes sense as this match alone constitutes approximately half of the entire show. Either Earl is trying to buy time by taking in... I will repeat this. Either Earl is trying to buy time by talking in slow motion, or is being fed his lines one after another, which would account for the delay between each sentence he says.
I feel like it's the second option.
Potentially. And also Vince was quiet during that time. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Neither man has any questions, as we imagine if they did.
But hang on a second.
So if I pin him,
yeah,
I win?
My only thought from this, when they explained the rules, I was like, oh cool, okay, so it's pins, submissions, countouts, and then they said DQs, and I was like, brilliant, so we can't have a shit ending. It can't just be a DQ and finish. Oh, how I was wrong.
Putting the cart before the horse again there, Holly.
I don't even care. I'm livid. Already.
You're livid?
Already, I was already.
Neither man has any questions as we now see Brett kiss the gold and hand it to Hebner, who showcases the title around the ring. Brett shakes Gorilla's hand and exits the ring to put his shades on his son Blade, who is sat in the front row at ringside. Holly, the table has been set. It's now time for the main event.
Let's do it.
But before that, before we get into the match,
okay,
do you know whose idea it was to put this match together?
No.
And you can say no, you can say Vince.
No, I don't have a clue.
The real person behind the scenes who was selling this as a match that would work, that they could help put together and would be a success, Pat Patterson.
Oh, okay.
So Pat Patterson, you know who Pat Patterson is.
Yes.
He was credited, rightly so, with the creation of the Royal Rumble, which many people would probably say was his finest work. I reckon, and I've said it in the monologue that kicked off the show that you haven't heard, to be fair, I said I reckon if he was asked, he would say this was his magnum opus. I think he would say this was his best work.
Okay.
He believed in both men. He believed in the athlete side of professional wrestling. So having someone like that backstage when you're stepping away from the land of the giants and the big muscle meatheads, this was his playground, to be fair. It doesn't help that both men are good looking as well, to be fair, but it was the right person to be the one behind this match, and so I thought, because it's not apparent anywhere, it'd be interesting for you to know.
Thank you.
Bret Hart, main event of WrestleMania 12. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario in an Iron Man match for the WWF title. Strap yourselves in.
Whew.
You haven't seen my notes. The bell sounds and the Iron Man match is underway. First question for you, Holly. Did you watch this match in one sitting? Yes. Done. First note.
Yeah. Bosh.
Checks off. We're flying. The two men briefly circle before they eventually go for a collar and elbow. After a bit of jostling, Michaels winds up backed into the corner before the two men break. Interestingly, on commentary, King says that if Bret Hart wins the first fall, he'll retain the title. That is how key he believes the first fall will be in this one, which I thought was actually a quite interesting point. It's not just whoever wins the most is going to win. Well, yes. He actually gave a reasoning why the first fall between these two guys who were so evenly matched would be decisive. Why he specified Bret, I don't know. The two men lock back up and Michaels lands a knee before shifting to the back and elevating Bret into the air and to the canvas. Hart shifts position and counters to take the challengers back, who scampers back to his feet. Very cagey opening from both men, all about pacing. Collar and elbow sees Bret take a side headlock, but Shawn drops down and rolls Hart out of the position, not once but twice, and the champ looks frustrated. Wristlock by Michaels, now, who wrenches down before Bret manages to reverse the hold and reapply a side headlock. Now, I know the side headlock is a move that will get on your tits in this one. Third time is not a charm for Shawn, as he looks to roll through, but this is scouted and Hart holds on to the head. Back in the standing position, and Shawn looks to push Bret off, but no luck, and they return to the canvas. Back to the feet again, and this time Bret takes Shawn down with a side headlock takedown, and Earl counts two as Michael's shoulders were flush to the canvas. I tell a lie, there was an earlier pinfall, but it wasn't an intentional pinfall.
No.
So I'm going to use that as my saving grace, my get out of jail card. Third attempt for Shawn to escape, this time via a back suplex, sees Bret counter with another side headlock takedown. Shaking your head, are you already frustrated at this point?
Yeah, and it's at this point they put the clock on the screen as well, and I was like, oh no. This is not for me now.
I like how they tempted you as well with the fact that they put both men's initials there.
Yes.
So you had BH and SM, 0 and 0, because that's going to be rattling through as they get all the pins and submissions.
Obviously, that's what I thought. But also, don't give me a countdown timer, because it's all I'm going to be looking at.
Very basic match thus far by Vince on commentary. Is accurate, but necessary given what we'll have to go through time-wise. Fourth attempt at escape works as Shawn pushes Bret off the ropes and hip tosses him to the canvas. Bret pushes the challenger away with his boots before a side headlock takedown lands, but Michaels gets a head scissors before Bret kicks out and transitions to another side headlock takedown that this time Shawn cannot escape. Those exchanges are not fun to write down in note form, because I have to pause. Pin attempt by Michaels gets a 2 count. Both men are on their feet as Michaels looks to escape with a top wrist lock, which he eventually succeeds in, and sweeps Bret to the canvas. Hart is the more technically minded as he shifts to a front face lock, however. Side headlock takedown puts Shawn back on the canvas, and I know Holly will be waiting for the moves to intensify. What's great is that Holly's actually like syncing up with my notes before I've even got to the point of saying how you're going to react to it.
Yeah.
You're like rolling your head and making
Like pretending to fall asleep, yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sean fights his way back to his feet and shoves the champ off. Two drop downs by Sean, who follows up with an arm drag, make that 2, and now the challenger has an arm lock cinched in. The Heartbreak Kid seems content to work over the arm with knees and a leg drop. Brett tries to escape with an arm drag of his own, but Michaels holds on, and the cameras now show us Stu Hart and Freddie Blassie, who are sat in the front row looking on. Brett shoves Sean off, but is shoulder tackled to the canvas. Drop down from Hart, who then hits a drop toe hold, but in the ensuing struggle winds up on his belly with Sean having applied a hammerlock. Sean eventually moves to an arm lock that Brett shoves the challenger in the corner to escape. Not a clean break though, as he strikes Sean hard after they disengage and follows up with a couple more. Michaels reverses the position and lands some strikes of his own as the action looks to heat up. Were you feeling like promising signs here?
I did hope.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Into the corner goes Michaels, but he looks to go up He looks to go up and not over as he gets a head scissors before sending Brett through the ropes to the floor.
Yep.
Once again, the champion looks frustrated as Vince comments on one of those high-flying Mexican manoeuvres.
He does, doesn't he?
Brett makes the most of the officials' count before returning to the ring. Michaels with an arm lock and uses a fireman's carry to take Brett down. Hart frees himself and sends Sean over the top, but the challenger skins the cat, rushes back and takes Hart down to the canvas by the arm.
Yay, this entertained me.
Hey! Brett works his way... That's what you're going to have to do. Every time you like something...
I just go, yay.
Or something
Okay.
to signal that you're still awake.
Okay.
Brett works his way back up and frees himself with a push before connecting with a kitchen sink to the gut, dropping the challenger. Headbutt to the midsection and a leg drop by the champion, who now applies a reverse chin lock. Sean escapes the... Holly's
I'm so
motions.
sorry.
Sean escapes the hold with a chin breaker and he connects with his own leg drop. Fujiwara armbar takes Brett down to the canvas and the challenger begins wrenching away. Vince says that if you're scoring this like an amateur contest, Michaels would be ahead on points, but you're not, so it's fucking irrelevant. After a period, Brett kips back up to his feet and applies a side headlock, but Michaels pushes free, leapfrogs the first time successfully,
Yay.
but is caught on the second attempt and slammed to the canvas. The champ looks to apply the sharpshooter, but Sean scrambles like hell to get free and successfully makes his way to the bottom rope, causing the attempt to be thwarted. As Sean returns to his feet, he is quickly clotheslined over the top rope and to the floor. King, with a little nod to Gorilla, shouts, "Holy mackerel!" which I quite liked.
Nice.
So at this point,
Yes.
how are you feeling?
Tired and concerned that all I'm going to see is a headlock and some form of arm hold.
Yeah. Well, you got what you wanted then so far.
Oh,
So
God.
as Brett follows to the floor, King rightly calls him an idiot, as he could have gotten the first fall by countout. Fully agree.
Yeah.
Before he can take advantage, Sean successfully runs the champ into the ring post,
Drink.
from where he sits on Tony Chimmel's lap.
Poor timekeeper.
Well, exactly. Brett looks to be puffing hard, but has enough wherewithal to move in the nick of time to avoid the sweet chin music which turns the lights out in Tonyland.
Yep.
Brett starts off loading with rights as Sean momentarily pauses and they return back to the ring. Reverse chinlock applied by the champ, and we're showing Chimmel unmoving on the floor from where he was kicked. In fact, we get a lovely picture-in-picture of the replay, not once, but twice.
We do.
Win twice. With the second being in super slow motion. They've brought a stretcher out as King says he could have a broken jaw and Chimmel is taken backstage.
If he had a broken jaw, he can still walk.
Yeah, I was also thinking, pretty sure you would have taken the sweet chin music to be then get taken backstage and not have to watch the rest of the match, would be my general feeling.
Yes.
After a sustained period, Sean returns to his feet and reverses out of the chin lock before hitting a swift clothesline to the champion. Reversal of a whip by Brett, who levels Michaels in return with a nasty clothesline of his own, and the reverse chinlock is once again applied.
Mm-hmm.
Sean regains his feet and unloads with rights to the gut, but manages to avoid a body slam attempt by slipping out the back, but Brett holds onto the ropes to prevent an O'Connor roll, but cannot avoid the drop kick that connects right after. Arm drag by Sean, and he now retains an arm lock on the canvas. Michaels screams at Hebner to count as Brett's shoulders are flat on the mat, and this gets a 2. Sean now has his feet on either side of the champ's shoulders as he pulls at the arm. Holly will be growing frustrated with these rest holds, but they become fewer as the match unfolds, at least.
Yes. Yeah, fine. I can't even.
Brett manages to get his feet... What?
Oh.
No. Brett manages to get to his feet, but before he can kick Shawn in the face, he's yanked back down to the canvas. For a moment, Brett looks to gain an advantage with a quick side headlock, but Shawn slips out immediately and cranks on a hammerlock. Back on their feet, and Michaels finds himself backed into the corner, where a pair of elbows to the face break the hold. Brett now unloads with a few choice strikes, but his whip attempt is countered with a knee to the gut by Shawn, who then sends the champ shoulder first into the ring post.
Drink.
From the apron, Shawn now wraps the left arm of Brett around the ring post. Drink. Before returning back
I'm
into
looking
the
at my
ring.
notes.
I wish you'd seen that. It's like Holly had just woken from like a
Sorry,
coma.
I was really following with my notes and I just totally missed what you said. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Shauna breaker. Shoulder breaker from Michaels connects, and the Heartbreak Kid takes flight from the second rope with a double axe handle that connects with the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
A hammerlock body slam also connects, and Brett is sent shoulder first into the buckles on 2 occasions. Brett looks to fire back with right hands, but Shawn counters with a divorce court before briefly applying an armbar on the wrong arm before correctly applying it to the damaged appendage. Did you get that as well?
Yes. Oh, yes.
The commentary team point out Brett trying to roll into a less dangerous position, although his initial attempt would actually make it much more dangerous, but he does eventually free himself by kicking the challenger in the head, or more accurately raking the boot across the eyes.
Yeah.
Shawn charges at Brett in the corner with a shoulder tackle and a back elbow hits before Michaels returns his attention to the arm. Brett punches his way free before stun gunning Shawn on the middle rope. Slingshot by the Hitman sends Michaels face first off the ring post.
I like one of those, but drink.
The following, there is 2 things you've liked. The following delayed cover is only enough for 2. The Heartbreak Kid prevents himself from going face first into the buckles and instead sends the champion there. With Brett in the corner, Michaels looks to connect with a corner splash but goes too high and Hart avoids the impact. With Shawn lying across the top buckle, the champ unloads with kicks to the midsection with the third returning Shawn into the ring. Inverted atomic drop and clothesline earns a near fall. So, again, we'll take a pause here for a second.
Okay.
From reading through these notes,
Yes.
at this point the action's starting to pick up. The moves are a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Has it engaged you at all? Appreciating you'll have been annoyed. I get you'll have been annoyed.
Yes. It started to.
Okay.
If we could have cut out the first 15 minutes of this match and started a little bit before here, I would have jumped in at being invested straight away.
Okay.
But for me, this took a real deep dive to then pull me out of it.
I understand where you're coming from, and I expected that to be the case, to be honest. I knew that, and it's not a dig at you in terms of attention span.
You can dig at me because my attention span is hideous.
No, because I will admit that the first 15 minutes, I understand why they do that, but it also doesn't make it massively engaging for me. I would say from about 15 to 20 minutes in, fine. I've not got an issue with what they do at all.
Yes.
And I don't have an issue with the first part, but it's not something that... Because it's not real amateur wrestling. So it's just rest holds. Yeah. I don't know how the best place to do that, though, because if you start really quick... Like, 'cause in theory, if you look at these 2 men...
Yes.
Bret Hart's the technician. Shawn Michaels is the high flyer with the Mexican manoeuvres. Maybe Shawn goes, right, I'm going to try and blitz him early doors. Much like he did with Diesel at the last Mania. Not, obviously, going out of his way to make Bret blow up.
No.
But try to catch Bret off guard early, do something like that.
Yeah.
And then Bret slowly starts to wear him down. And then they kind of go into a bit of a rest period before it picks back up again. But what they seem to be trying to do here, and I think this was intentional, is showing that, well, yeah, Shawn is a high flyer, he can do that stuff, but he's also pretty sound fundamentally, and he can give someone who's supposed to be the excellence of execution in that field a run for their money. So we are trying to signal, I think, quite overtly, that Shawn is every bit as good as Bret is, and can do a bit more that Bret can't. I feel like it's kind of teeing it up for, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Even look at the entrance. To be fair, it wouldn't fit Bret Hart's character to do something like that. But I feel like this whole construct was to make sure Michaels looked like the guy.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on this juncture in the match. Running Bulldog lands from Brett, who now ascends to the top rope, but he's cut off by Shawn. As the two struggle for position, the Hitman eventually gets the better of it, and having hold of the hair of Michaels, leaps from the top with his knee in the challenger's back, and yes, that's right, Holly, we get the first pratfall from Earl Hebner, who collides with Shawn as they fall. The weird thing is here, though, this was clearly meant to happen, because Hebner's making a tit of himself, not accidentally, but it didn't really play into how the match unfolded, so I didn't see the point. It's just Earl's like, I need to get my shit in.
Yeah.
Like, Brett's like, okay, right, we know we've got a sharpshooter coming. Shawn's like, yep, I've got the super kick covered, and Earl goes, lads.
You need to knock me down.
I need one of you sweaty hogs to get physical with me. Yeah. Because otherwise, how do I know I've officiated a match unless I've got another man's sweat drenched through my shirt?
Fair.
So I think that's how the conversation went. I wasn't there,
no,
but I'm going to make that assumption that is indeed what happened. Brett goes to make sure Earl is still conscious moments before he's hit with a power slam from Shawn for a 2 count. We're now just over halfway through the match, and Holly is immediately wincing after Brett hits a jumping pile driver on Shawn, but the lackadaisical cover only gets a 2 count.
And you know me so well.
It's a good pile driver, though.
It's irrelevant to me.
Fine.
No, thank you.
Back to the top rope goes Brett, who is once again cut off by Michaels, this time finding himself being thrown to the canvas. Decent Hurricane Rana by Michaels, who follows up with a flurry of right hands to the top of the head upon landing. Michaels indicates it could be time for Sweet Chin Music, but Brett holds onto the ropes off a whip and avoids the danger. Backbreaker by Shawn gets a 2 count. Back on their feet, and a back elbow from Shawn connects, but the following Sweet Chin Music attempt is once again avoided as Brett rolls to the outside. As the champ looks to take a moment to gather himself, he walks right into a top rope plancha from Shawn Michaels, and the crowd are really starting to get into this one.
Yay! I liked this.
As Michaels rolls back into the ring, instead of continuing the count, Earl begins a new one. When was that the thing to do? You carry on.
Yeah.
You don't start a new one. It's now the turn of Shawn to be called an idiot by King as he retrieves Brett and deposits him back in the ring before ascending the buckles. Michaels takes flight and hits a crossbody, but the Hitman rolls through and nearly picks up the first fall. Again, that's touching on an interesting point here. We haven't had a fall yet. No. What did you think was happening?
We haven't.
At what point did it click to you, oh my god, we're not going to get a fall?
At the end.
Really?
Yes, because I thought it was going to be like, we've seen matches similar, not similar to this, but like long ones before, and nothing happens, and then all of a sudden at the end it's like, pin, 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 pin. I was like, oh, here we go, it's going to be this absolute shite. And then, well, obviously I didn't have one either, so... that's how I thought. Nothing's happened now. It's going to come like quick, late towards the end.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Accounts from the champion, who avoids a hip toss and looks for a backslide, results in Michaels flipping through and attempting a small package that gets 2. And he got him. No, he didn't. From Vince, so that's another one on the bingo card. We're at Full House. We see replays of the high-flying Michaels, who now hits a decent perfect plex on the champ for a near fall. Mm-hmm. The Hitman is whipped off the ropes and runs directly into a sleeper hold, but no, the champ runs Shawn back first into the buckles. His respite is only short-lived though, as Michaels runs and reapplies the submission. Holly, please can you do the WrestleMania honours?
He's asleep. Oh, he's awake. He woke up quite quickly.
There's 3, I think.
I've got 2.
Okay.
I've got 2 sleeps.
Okay, 2 sleeps and an awake.
2 sleeps and awake.
Brett regains his feet, but finds himself sent crashing into the buckles and returns into the sleeper hold. The Hitman looks to connect with a back suplex, but Shawn lands on his feet and hits a back elbow before mule-kicking Hart to the canvas. Brett gets sent hard into the buckles, but Shawn's charge sees the challenger elevated high into the air to the floor, where he narrowly avoids landing on a cameraman.
Yeah, and we see nothing.
No, really bad. And they try to show it from another angle where we still don't quite see the full clip. Vince claims that Brett will for sure get the first fall here, but the champ instead picks up Shawn and runs him back first into the ring post.
Drink.
Both men return to the ring, and the Hitman now looks to capitalise on Shawn's lower back with a series of heavy blows followed by a hard whip into the corner. From the second rope, Brett hits an elbow to the back of the challenger, and he's in trouble here. No, from the second rope, Brett hits an elbow to the back, and the challenger is in trouble.
Okay.
There you go. Whips, I'm doing alright so far, though.
Yeah, you really are.
Whip sees an ugly moment where Shawn mistimes his jump, but Brett does manage to turn it into a backbreaker he desired. More punishment to the back of Sean in the corner, who sounds in absolute agony here.
Mm-hmm.
A full 360 in the corner goes Sean off a corner whip, and the excellence of execution quickly capitalises with a super back suplex that somehow only results in a 2 count.
I enjoyed that.
I did. It was really quickly done as well. Brett was like, oh shit, opportunity, boom,
Yeah, I
done.
liked him.
Modified camel clutch by the champion, which again will punish the lower back of Michaels. A sound strategy, if you ask me, which you didn't. After a while, Sean fights free and gets a 2 count off a sunset flip, but Brett is quickly once more in the ascendancy as he strikes the back. The champ sits Sean on the top buckle, but the Heartbreak Kid fights back and leaps from the second rope, but is caught cleanly in the gut with the right hand. Side Russian leg sweep from Brett, who whips Michaels hard into the corner, and this sees the challenger go all the way to the floor, wiping out Jose Lothario in the process. Quick to capitalise, Brett is out on the floor and whips Sean hard into the steel stairs, which again takes Lothario down. I'm not sure if he was supposed to be there on either one of those, to be honest. Both men, I think he's just like, nope, this is my corner, this is my happy space, this is where I live. Both men return to the ring, but not before Brett barks something into the crowd, although King says it was aimed at Jose, which I really don't think it was. Belly-to-belly suplex from the Hitman gets a near fall. Michaels looks to fight back until a stiff shot to the lower back puts Sean on the canvas. Solid forearm shots in the corner by Brett, who finds his suplex attempt countered into an O'Connor roll for a 2 count. As Hart kicks out, the momentum sends Sean all the way to the floor. As Michael slowly regains his footing, Brett, in a surprising move, hits a suicide dive, and I bet Holly wasn't expecting that.
Yep, no thank you.
At this point, has the match engaged you? Are you actually invested?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Yeah. I mean, continuously that clock is telling me also how long we've got left. So as the clock ticks down, my mood got higher.
Improved.
Yes.
I can't wait till the end. Cannot wait till the end. The fans boo Brett as he returns to the ring, as he now seems content to take the count out for the initial fall. Smart though.
Mm-hmm.
Sean manages to get himself to the apron, and he slips out the back of a suplex attempt to return him to the ring. Brett shifts and manages to get a go behind before he hits a lovely bridging German suplex for a near fall.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Yes.
Holly, are you now getting into this match? We've covered that. We can bypass that. From his knees, Sean tries to fight back, and the 2 men trade blows until Brett gets the upper hand. The champ returns to the camel clutch variant, and the commentary are both now heavily focused on the time remaining, which is under 10 minutes.
Me too.
Slowly but surely, Sean struggles upwards as he finds himself in a reverse chin lock. Michaels continues to rise and elbows his way free. He ducks a clothesline attempt, and both men are now down following a double clothesline. Sean hits a series of forearms but finds himself sat atop the buckles, from where the Hitman hits a beautiful superplex. Really nice. Brett is now looking for the sharpshooter, but Sean kicks his way free. Hart is relentless though, and initially looks to apply a figure 4 leg lock, but instead settles for a single leg crab. Michael struggles and makes his way to the ropes to break the hold. More booing as Brett hesitates on breaking said hold. Backbreaker from the Hitman, who follows up by leaping from the second rope, but is caught with a clean boot to the face from the challenger. Normally I don't like that, but that one looked quite good.
Yeah.
Brett also has a sell upcoming in this match, by the way. That is magnificent.
Okay.
One of my favourite sells of anything ever.
Oh.
Both men are down and Earl begins his count. Less than 5 minutes to go.
Woohoo!
Drop kick by Sean sends Hart into the buckles, and he follows with a running elbow. The champ goes sternum first off a whip into the opposite corner, and it sounds brutal. Flying forearm by Michaels puts Hart down, and somehow he manages to kip up. Leaping back elbow drops Brett, and a body slam follows in short order. From the top rope, Sean connects with a 180 double axe handle, which gets a 2 count. I've never seen that before.
No.
Bit of flair. Suplex by Michaels, and the challenger heads to the top rope once more, where he drives the elbow into the heart of the Hitman. Ooh, yeah! But only a 2 count again. Sean hits a sit-out Doctor Bomb, which is actually very nice, but he decides against the pin with only 2 minutes remaining. He returns to the top rope, where he soars with a lovely moonsault to the standing champion and gets a deep cover for the 1, 2... No, did you think that was going to get a fall?
Yes, I did.
I thought so. All momentum is with the challenger, who gets a boot up in the corner on a corner charge and takes flight from the top rope with a messy Hurricane Runner that gets another 2. Body slam from the Heartbreak Kid, who collapses to his knees as he moves back to the ropes. He slowly climbs his way to the top, but when he leaps, he's caught by Hart, who finally applies the sharpshooter. And I love the call from both Vince and King in this moment. A real sense of urgency as the crowd count down with the time as well.
Yep.
All the while, Shawn is furiously shaking his head side to side. The bell sounds.
Yep.
What went through your head? You've heard the bell sound. Did you assume Shawn gave up? What were your thoughts?
I genuinely was like, have I missed him? Effectively tapping out literally right in the last seconds. So I was very confused. Confusion very quickly turns to another emotion.
Bret grabs his title from Hebner and begins to head back up the aisle, but we see Gorilla Monsoon has entered the ring for a happening, and he's in discussion with Earl Hebner. Holly, what text did you send me at this exact moment?
Don't know. What did I... Oh, do you want me to find it?
Please, if you could. It's worthwhile.
What did I say? Hang on. I have to find it.
We do send a few messages, to be fair.
Then.
It was pretty good.
Oh, God, what did I fucking say? Hang on. There's so many messages because we're talking about Money in the Bank.
It was obviously before Money in the Bank.
Okay. Hang on. Oh, this is so much stuff about Money in the Bank. Oh, okay. So there I'm finished. Oh my fucking God, it's not a fucking hour.
There it is. Oh my fucking God, it's not a fucking hour. That is what came out of your mouth. Because you didn't even tell me at that point you were watching the show, I don't think.
No, I didn't. No.
So I just knew exactly where Holly was and I laughed to myself.
Yeah.
With that emotion, Howard Finkel now comes onto the microphone and confirms that the time limit has expired. However, this match has been ordered to continue under sudden death rules.
I was so fucking angry. So angry. I've just sat there, not moved for an hour. Right, for me as well to not move from watching anything for that long. It's a real fucking struggle. So I gave it my all, and I sat there for a fucking hour, watched it all. Like, it's a fucking end. It's not even finished. It's not even finished. You have no idea how also angry I was at the person that suggested I sit and watch this in one go. Yeah, they fucking did.
Bet they did.
Livid. Absolutely livid. And I'm still livid now.
How did he react when...
Fucking funny. People think it's funny to do this to me.
The camera is trained on Bret, who is most of the way back to the locker room, and he shouts, "Why?" And fuck me, does Holly agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Finkel continues, "There must be a winner!"
I don't care. Take the belt off both of them. I don't care. Like, no one gets it. We're done. That's how I would finish WrestleMania 12. Just put it in the fucking bin. We're done. Go home.
Alundra Blaze. Bret is rightly aggravated as he storms back to the ring, and Vince tells us that apparently it's Piper that made this decision, even though it clearly was Gorilla who's now in charge. King says that whilst there wasn't a winner, neither man had lost. Thanks, that you explained a draw. The Hitman is talking to Monsoon, who stood at ringside, as Michaels has still been unable to return to his feet. Bret signals for the bell and returns his attention to the lower back of Shawn. Big back body drop puts Michaels down as Vince says Shawn will not give up. He will stay in too long and will not give up. The official will have to stop it. Backbreaker to the challenger, but Shawn manages to go up and over in the corner off a whip and connects with Sweet Chin Music. Vince says he doesn't know if he got all of it, and it is a brilliant sell from the Hitman, who's dazedly trying to return to his feet but is rolling around like a man who's been half knocked out. It's such a good sell because he didn't quite get caught clean with it, so he didn't go down and motionless, but he's like, no, I need to get up, and he's like rocking, and I just thought it was a brilliant sell. It's what you would do in that situation if you were half fucking knocked out but knew you needed to do something.
Yeah, fair.
So I thought it was brilliant. I can tell by your face, you didn't care, you don't feel the same, you want it to end, you want it to end yesterday.
Just was past caring.
Just past caring. I'm doing this whole emotional sell and like
really
my face is lighting up and Holly's looking at me like, I will kick you in the dick right now if you keep talking about this any longer. We've been talking about this goddamn fucking match for the past 45 minutes and you're trying to segue off to stories. Wait till the end. Backbreaker to the challenger, but Shawn manages to go up and over in the corner off a whip and connects with Sweet Chin Music. We've just said that. Vince says he doesn't look like he got all of it. Bret's selling like a hero. Bret nearly gets to his feet before Shawn, but falls on his face. Again, nice touch. Michaels positions himself in the corner and hits a second sweet chin music that lands clean. This time, he got all of it. The Heartbreak Kid falls into a pin, and we finally get a 1, a 2, a 3.
Woohoo!
We have a new WWF champion. The cameras quickly go to Blade, Bret's son, who's singing along to Sexy Boy.
Yeah.
And this must have made Holly chuckle.
It did, actually. I was like, oh, this kid is just so happy.
An enraged Hart storms out of the ring and back up the aisle. A fan throws him a Canadian flag, which he dismissively tosses to one side. In the ring, we see Shawn Michaels on his knees being handed his first ever WWF title, and the celebrations begin in earnest.
Yes.
Did you expect that end result, ultimately?
Oh.
And my next question is, whose side were you on?
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, for sure.
Oh, I was Bret.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if either had have won, I would have given a fuck by this point, I'll be honest. Right, take out the first 15 minutes of the match.
Yep.
And put in, have the match start those 15 minutes in, right?
So, 45-minute Iron Man match.
But put in those extra 10 minutes at the end.
Yeah, okay.
Do you see what I mean?
So start it at the 15-minute point and add the final 5.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
I would have been a bit happier, I'll be honest.
Okay,
A
fine.
bit.
As Earl makes a mess of securing the title around Shawn's waist, the Heartbreak Kid shoves Hebner away before celebrating his childhood dream under the spotlight, and Vince on commentary celebrates almost as heartily, if not more so.
Yeah.
Finally, Lothario returns to the ring and gives Shawn a hug after the celebration has culminated. Shawn now leaves the ring and shakes the hand of Bret's son and Stu Hart, as well as the show comes to an end, with a highlight package accompanied by "Whoa, whoa, it's WrestleMania," which must have made you deliriously confused.
Yes.
What did you rate this match, Holly?
So, firstly, I'm just putting it out there.
No, first, actually, sorry to interrupt, but I have to.
Oh, okay.
If you score Triple H and Ultimate Warrior as the highest match of the night,
Okay.
we're going to have a wrestle after this, okay? Right, my missus can officiate.
Okay.
Continue.
No, do you know what? Actually, I used my my head for this one. I took away my anger at 4.5. Then you were shocked, didn't you?
I don't understand.
It pissed me off that it was so long.
What? No. What?
No, it pisses me off that it was so long, right? And the beginning was a bit tame. But I appreciated the good stuff was good, right? The length of time, I appreciated all of that. That's a lot of fucking effort. And I was just really happy at the end.
I'm so confused because you have shit every time it's come up. You've just looked like you're ready to fight. And then you say 4.5.
It was a good match. I don't want to watch it again.
What?
Ever. But it was for what it gave theatrics.
Yeah.
It told a story. It was a nice passing of the torch.
Well, do you know what's weird?
It was great. No, what's weird?
You scored it higher than Dave.
Fine. I think I was so happy it was finished.
4.25 he gave it, so you're close.
Fine.
I give it 4.5 as well.
Oh, nice.
And my reasons aren't too dissimilar to yours. I think it builds well, but it is a bit too slow at the beginning, and that's the only reason I hold it down, because I've seen other Iron Man matches where I don't feel like it's been quite like that.
Okay.
But for the time, for the company, really good. I enjoyed it, so I'd give it 4.5.
Yeah.
Got a story for you.
Oh.
Again, from the sports stuff. I feel like we're not sponsored by them, but all the stories have come from the same place. Back in those days, Michaels was hard to work with, but in 1996, he was the hottest act in the company, a young, charismatic entertainer with a rocket strapped to his back. He was more than capable of carrying the programme with heart, but maybe the company thought that the addition of Lothario would add a little extra something to the overall programme. The recurring video package for WrestleMania had Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels training with their respective mentors, presenting it as the culmination of a long journey, taken by both student and pupil together. Then the match happened. Michaels won, and he ordered the match referee to get Jose Lothario out of his ring. That actually happened. Even before this WrestleMania-worthy moment, it was apparent that Michaels did not want his trainer as his on-screen manager. Lothario himself was not keen on the idea, but McMahon wanted it, and so he got it. With the boyhood dream realised, it made sense for Lothario and Michaels to go their separate ways, but the company kept them as a unit for the whole year. Jim Cornette has claimed that Jose Lothario was mistreated by his own pupil backstage, and Michaels did not want him around at all. According to another rumour, Pritchard claimed that Lothario was working behind Michaels' back. Who knows what happened backstage, but the on-screen partnership was just not good.
Oh, okay.
You actually see, if you go back and watch it, you see Michaels go to Earl, get him out of my ring. I think he says, get him out of my fucking ring.
Oh, wow.
And that's why Lothario had the delay before he then came into the ring, probably under Vince's instruction because he wanted the shot of them together, but Michaels gets all his big celebration moments alone.
I see.
So that when he looks back at it later in his career, it's just him. Which I get to a point.
Yeah, I get that.
But it also shows that he didn't really have a close relationship with Jose Lothario. But by what I've read there, it sounds like Jose wasn't particularly fussed himself about that.
Yeah.
So, Holly, we've come to the culmination of a 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yes, to be precise.
WrestleMania 12.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet that you preferred it to WrestleMania 11.
Yeah.
But you didn't prefer it to WrestleMania 10. Sorry.
Yes, correct.
What was your score?
I gave... Well, I know you won't agree with me, but apart from the Roddy and Gold Dust stuff, I actually thought everything was not amazing, but it was all fun. Like, it was quite enjoyable. The match, obviously the last one for me and my attention issues was a bit long. But I gave it 7.25 out of 10.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I thought, in spite of how much you liked Brett and Sean, I thought you would really struggle and wouldn't be able to get over it. And do you know what I think this has taught us, this journey? And this isn't just specifically the podcast, this is how you view wrestling in general.
Sure.
You've managed to score older shows highly, and you didn't even think at one point you'd even be able to watch it.
No.
Let alone watch it and enjoy it.
No.
Do you feel personal growth and development here?
Sometimes, but then I do get really angry and I go back to, oh no, I haven't changed as a person.
What's the next
I'm
WrestleMania?
super angry.
There's one very good match on the next Mania.
Okay, just one.
Which I'm looking forward to. And we might have some additional content that we can use around that match as well, which will be fun. You've already heard it, but you've obviously forgotten, so it's not a new one. But before we go and do the usual ending of the show, and I try and think of a sign off to actually do to make myself sound like mildly professional or slightly professional, would you please care to share the socials with the listeners?
No.
You've had the review, fuck off.
Yeah. Also, the segment you sprung on me earlier that you're going to want me to do every week now.
Yep.
Off the cuff, easily, hands down, Shawn Michaels gets that.
Agreed.
This time. Absolutely.
I can't even think of who would be second. Oh, Warrior. Oh, Warrior's jacket was really good.
It was good. But absolutely not. Are you joking? You see all the...
Yeah.
No, absolutely
just Shawn,
not.
but it actually is very close with how good that jacket Warrior had was.
Oh, it's not for me. It's not for me.
That's fine, it's your segment. So Shawn Michaels is 1-0 on the score.
Cool. Well, I can't... Oh, there it is. Right. I say this stuff every time. Do I remember it? Do I fuck?
Do you fuck?
Do I fuck? Maybe. wintwistpod@gmail.com for any suggestions that comes to you.
Oh, is that a little jingle?
Nope.
Have we got a little... You regret doing that, don't you?
Yep. You can see the instant disgust in my face.
We should see that face she just dumped inside.
Kill me fucking now.
Carry on.
It comes to you, basically. So I'm be fucking livid. I'm just warning you.
Why warning me?
Don't.
What?
And then Instagram, YouTube, everything is WinTwicePod.
Which includes Twitter, which Holly always remembers to say.
So sorry.
That's,
it's because I don't use it. I don't know how to use
that's the spirit.
X anymore, whatever it's called.
And if one of the co-hosts is that engaged in the product, then so should you be. You didn't mention the OnlyFans either, or is that for a different episode?
Stop it. It's not up and running yet.
No, not yet. Give it time. We've got to celebrate 10,000 subs in some spectacular fashion, I'm sure. Oh, do you hear that whistle in my throat?
I did.
That was bizarre. I think
Yeah.
that's a signal that this one's
It's
over.
done.
We've got another WrestleMania in the books. The next episode, again, we're using a shorter one, but it should be quite fun.
Yes.
We've lined up an episode. I won't mention what it is just yet, and then we will go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Holly, any passing words before we kick this one into touch?
Oh, let's go. I'm hungry.
Okay, fair enough. Hopefully you guys and gals have enjoyed it. Have a wonderful time, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Until next time, this has been a Win Twice Wrestling production. Peace out.